Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to this Cosa Nostra Radio production. Cosa Nostra is a family unit located on allpoetry.com. Allpoetry.com, the world's largest poetry community. We want to thank Kevin and the crew for giving us a place to call home and hang our hats. The content and opinions of the people, the callers, and the hosts do not necessarily reflect the beliefs and opinions of Cosa Nostra ownership and management. Enjoy this Cosa Nostra programming. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Open Poetry with Boo and Jay. This is Jay, and we got a great night set up for you. And without further ado, let me bring in the Boo. Hey, hey, Boo. Boo, are you there? Oh, gosh.
I think my headphones aren't working. Never mind.
There, you're coming in. You're coming in now.
Okay.
Yep. Welcome, Boo. How you doing?
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. You kind of very on the slow side there as far as response time. I'm wondering if there's a lag in there.
No, it's just me.
Okay, it's just you. Hey, well, welcome, Miss Lag. No, I'm just kidding, Boo. You rock.
No, this is sweet, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me bring in a few callers that I see on the line here. First of all, let me welcome to the show, Headshot. Hey, Headshot. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? Doing good. Thanks for having me. Hey, Boo.
Hey, Headshot. Did you hear the song for that?
Did I hear what? I didn't.
Let's hear it later. Did you like my romance, Jay?
Little cherish.
That was a request from my friend. Yeah.
All right. Let me keep on going a little bit longer, and welcome to the show, Nick. Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Hey, Jay.
Nick.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Headshot.
What's up, baby?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
Happy to see you, Headshot. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I just want to mention that we have now gained our 89th country around the world, and welcome to the Cosa Nostra listening audience, the country of Suriname. So, yeah, Suriname.
Where's that?
It's down in South America.
Okay. I was stuck in geography.
We're going to have a geography lesson in the middle of this, so be prepared, take notes, and then we'll test you. We'll test you later, Boo. Okay?
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I'm scared.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, where I want to start it out is very little bit different. I'm going to start it out with the audio here. And, well, first of all, let me get an Azakel. Hey, brother, how you doing? I did get that right, didn't I? I don't know where anything is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, Azakel, you there, brother, right?
Yeah, I was just hooking up to my headphones. I didn't hear you the first time, I think. What's up?
Okay, no problem. No problem. Welcome.
Hello.
Good to have you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start us out with a little Phil the Poet here, folks. So sit back, relax, let's listen to a little Phil.
This is a poem by Phil the Poet called The Rainbow Thieves. Smudged rainbow lies broken under fairy boots, goblins blowing graffiti through cone-shaped flutes. No more happy ever after in drunken toy town. Everything that was has been turned upside down. Trampled violets imprinted on mischievous souls who dance and prance in scantily clad robes, kicking up the dust of debauchery and fame, screaming that today's kids will never be the same. An orange-haired troll kidnaps the young prince. His worried parents haven't seen him since. Posters on trees and promises of ritually reward scream the headlines both home and abroad. In a dungeon just under Mancunian Canal Bridge, the limp-wristed gremlins begin to grin and twitch. For years they planned to take his masculinity away, tried to indoctrinate him, but he would never sway. The prince, strong in mind and spirit, longed for home, planning to escape this foul pit called the Pleasure Dome. But they kept him in bondage with the sick and depraved, disgusted by their nakedness and the way they behaved.
This is a strong one. He refuses all our advances. Our lip licking, and they're not so subtle wanton glances. But we will have him, for we will have all of you. Fill them with our seed. They will become our passion fruit.
Indigo fingerprints arouses the prince's suspicions. Are these the rainbow thieves that have caused divisions, who plunders young children's hearts and minds with their nonsensical words and ridiculous signs? So the prince waited until the cry of the tawny owl, when the moon is high and the wolves do howl, planning his escape with precision and stealth, dug his way out with a knife hidden in his belt. Day and night he carved a hole in the stone wall, while the trolls and goblins were throwing a ball. He disappeared into the night like a vapour of dust, fleeing from the covetousness and despicable lust. Back to the castle, safe to the warmth of family life, to his father, his mother, to seek himself a wife. The joy on the face of the king and the queen is such a moving and beautiful thing to be seen. Embracing their son, who they thought was dead, listened with eagerness to everything that he said. The king became disgusted at the conniving of the rainbow thieves. A royal punishment is what these foul fiends need to receive. Taking a legion of men, the king came to the land of trolls, burnt the bridges and caverns, trampling underfoot many souls, collecting the remains of red, yellow, blue and green, orange, indigo and violet, to set them up in the sky supreme. The sevenfold rainbow is back in its rightful place, a covenant reminder to the whole human race. God is in heaven. The king reigns upon his throne over a jubilant land. The prince and the sweet maiden gaze at the rainbow hand in hand. End poem.
Wow. What an epic tale. I love the fantasy vibe behind this and the way that he presented this. I think that this was just absolutely brilliant, super cool. I love his voices, the character work, the presentation, the production of the whole thing. I think it's absolutely fabulous. Amazing, amazing job. Let me start with Headshot. Headshot, what do you think about that one?
It seems a lot of us are telling the same story, as if we're all going through the same, as if we've all been through it. I love the ending. Now it's Prince and Sweet Maiden gaze at the rainbow. I mean, it reminds me a lot of mine. You know, years ago they tell us one thing and now they tell us another. So up is now down and everything's reversed a bit. And so it's this whole divide, this rainbow division, right? We're divided by this rainbow, and people are just trying to unite and see where everybody stands. For the most part, the people who are complaining are the people who haven't changed. It's those who change so frequently, who are together and united, who are, I guess you would say, the other side, I guess, because some people want it one way, and the way, like, because we're old-fashioned, they told us one thing, and now that times change, now they make money off of prostitution, drugs, and all these things which we were killed and imprisoned for, and so now things are a bit backwards, and we're trying to figure out and stabilize with all the diversity there is nowadays. This was a great poem, and it proceeded beautifully, or whatever. It was great, right?
Excellent comment. Azakel, what do you think?
This is a great fantasy, and I'm going to put in a little quote, a movie quote, and see. This is what this poem here, this great fantasy, remind me of a movie. And here's the quote from the movie. You remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. What power? The power of voodoo. Who do? You do. Do what? Remind me of the babe.
Remind me of the babe.
Anyone that's from?
Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah. Love Labyrinth. Great movie, great quote, awesome comment. Yeah, it did. It had a great Labyrinth vibe to it there for a little bit. I agree with you 100% on that, Azakel. Boo, what do you think about this?
I think you just got a front page 6 for this one the other day. I don't know, this is like fantasy, right? Because, I mean, he's talking about the dungeons and the Virge, and like this is like a fantasy, I think, fairy tale sort of, right? They're not really. It's hard.
Absolutely, Boo. Total fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. But then there's passion in there and lust in there at the bottom there. They have all the youth building up to see and become passion fruit. Well, that's cool. I love the voice. That was really awesome. The prince waded into the crown and Tony. This is really unique. It's a good story. It's kind of like a fairy tale, kind of like has a little bit of sensual to it. It's interesting. It's just unique for him, I think. And I love the voice.
Absolutely, yeah. He can do anything. And before I get a last comment from Nick, I want to welcome to the show Raz. Hey, Raz, how you doing?
That's right, Yellow Sun. You heard Coldplay. We're all yellow. Everyone's yellow. Exactly what says.
Awesome. And Nick, I'm going to let you make the last comment on this poem, and then I'm going to put your poem up on the board.
I think the last stanza says it all.
Well, there's not a lot I can say that hasn't already been said, but going off what Headshot said, this is just a very relatable poem, and the way it's woven together, like pages inside a book, of just metaphors that help kind of put a more, shine a light on more sensitive issues that we may be dealing with, and I think that's an incredible way to write.
Excellent comment. Wonderful. And you were up, my friend.
Excellent. I've been having a really hard time going through my stuff and remembering what I have and haven't read. So if you've heard this one before, my apologies. It says Glass House. It's like I'm in a house of glass. Each pane is another reflection of my past. And every day I feel pain as it feels like stones are being thrown my way. This transparent ceiling is the only thing shielding me from the rain. I walk to my living room and lay on the floor, hoping I feel relief soon. I can feel the darkness penetrate me despite the light of the moon. I'm just waiting for these walls to shatter and the glass to pierce my skin. Sometimes a losing battle seems impossible to win. And again, here's another night I lay in bed wide awake, wondering what's the difference between future and fate. I wait the day when my problems go away. But it seems I create more every day when I try to solve the ones I have. I'll get good news, then bad. This life I live seems such a drag. But I'll remember my lucky star and my silver lining shining from afar. Cross my heart, cut it apart, use my blood to make a work of art. It's going to get better. It has to before I get torn in two. I want to come to the light, but all I see is blue. Don't worry though, I'll be fine. The shadows won't snuff this little light of mine. I know deep inside that all pain eventually fades with time. End poem.
Wow, I love this. Cross my heart, cut it apart, use my blood to make a work of art. Wow, there is some incredible wordplay in here, which I just love. And of course, the message is phenomenal, especially when you put it at the end. The shadows won't snuff this little light of mine. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I love this, Nick. Great job, great work, great message, all around excellent piece.
Thank you.
Raz, what'd you think?
Yeah, there's so many ways to perceive the world right now. If you saw your house in a full of glass, you know other people are watching you. But what else do you know? You know, whatever you stand up for in this moment of time, it concedes the possibility of what you believe. And no one else has to agree. And that much is true. So what else do they know?
There you go.
Thank
There you go. There you go. And before I get another comment from Nick, let me go to the phone lines and welcome Salwa. Hello, Salwa. How are you?
Hello, Jca. How are you? How is everyone?
I'm well.
Doing great.
Hi, Boo. Hi. It's Nick, right? I heard you say Nick, right? Yes, hello, Nick.
Yep. Okay. Nick's here, and let me get a comment then from Azakel. What do you think, brother?
Oh, hello, Azakel.
Oh, I like this. It has some deep emotional commitment. And the last thing I'll say is, two last things. As JCA said, the part about using my blood for a work of art was my favorite line. And I'm glad that it had some positivity at the end. And I hope them the best.
Thank you.
Wonderful comment. Before I get another comment, let me go back to the phone lines and welcome Rack to the show. Hey, Rack, how you doing?
Not bad. Who's that? Is that Razzle Dazzle?
Hey, Rack.
What are you doing? Hey, I can't hang out too long, but I just wanted to stick my head in and say, yo.
Yo. Yo. Stop.
Solid.
Stop. All right. Let me get a comment then for Nick from Headshot. What do you think about that?
This has got to be my favorite poem of his. I think it's a great way to express yourself and use it as therapy. And not also that, but you say you're really, it's a really good poem and right. And you say a lot of things that other people can't or won't or not even able to do so. So I think it's a great way to share yourself and to realize you're not the only one. And there's a lot of people going through it. And you just did an amazing job to express that. Great, right?
Thank you.
And Boo, what do you think?
Yeah, it seems like, like the rest of us, you're normal, that you go through ups and downs, and you have good days and bad days, and days that you feel strong, and days that you feel weak. And we all have those. I race the days when my problems go away, but it seems I create more every day when I try to save the ones I have. I think maybe sometimes we try to give too much, and try to do too much, and we get lost in our own lives, our own problems. And I mean, just from knowing you, I can tell that you've grown and you help a lot of people and you do good. So we all have days where we feel bad. You just get back up and keep going. That's all you can do. And even though this is a bit sad, I still think it's inspiring and a good lesson for a lot of people. Good job, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, I think we need a little bit of an Azakel production coming up. So I just want to remind everybody, first of all, that Wednesday is our house, 9 o'clock Eastern, so do not miss it. Noon Eastern. What the heck was I thinking there? Noon Eastern on Wednesday. And here we go. Little Azakel.
Oh no, the voice.
Since you're gone, there's nothing new, and all I can do is think of you, and everything I feel is blue, and it's all because of you. I am blue because of you. It's nothing new. I am so blue. Since you're gone, I see red. It comes in and out of my head. It makes me feel like I am dead. Without you in my bed, I see red in my head. Almost dead. Empty bed. Now you're gone, my soul is black. Girl, how I need you back. You're the only thing that I lack. My heart's near heart attack. Soul is black, I need you back. It's you I lack, black heart attack. My soul is black, I need you back. It's you I lack, black heart attack.
Oh, yeah, that is cool, man. I really like the fact that you bring the colors in there, but you also bring it in there in a way that that really creates that loss in there too. You know, it's a good, but it's a loss at the same time, and I think that's where it kind of really kicked into gear and kicked ass. So amazing, right? Rack, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I appreciate the way you tied them together. It's one of those colors that sometimes masquerades as an emotion, and you kind of hinted that that's the way you were going, and then when you went into red, blue, that feeling red. Everything associates with blood, so it flowed beautifully, and the tempo that you put it to was haunting, and the repetition added to that feeling. So it had this ominous, just imposing feeling to it overall, and the techno music in the background. Yeah, and the techno in the background was nice too, making this overall piece really cool.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, JCA. Thanks, Zach.
Awesome. And Salwa, what do you think about that?
Oh, not spiritual one. I was surprised. No, I'm just teasing. He writes. It's amazing how he writes about anything, and this one he feels the personal pain. I agree with Raconteur about the uses of color. They're very present in a metaphoric way, but express emotions, sadness, blue, the moods. The red is almost like anger or pain. It's really beautifully used, even though there's so much sadness in it. And everything I feel blue makes me feel like I'm dead, the red. My heart, near heart attack with the black. It's just the way you rhyme it. It brings up the color and the emotion at the same time. I think it's a brilliant use of color. And from the first line, you since you're gone, there's nothing new. There's this longing and this feeling of like lost someone you wish you had her back.
Thanks, Salwa. Great.
Awesome. Raz, what do you think?
Yeah, what he said, it was true of the underground blues. Anyone can feel this mix, and they're going to want to listen again. What you're kicking here is Zako. This is true underground music. If anyone wants what that sound is like, that they have the disco in their head that's not over at the club, they can come.
We lost you, Raz.
I think we lost Jay.
Yeah.
Where's Jay?
No, I'm here. I'm here, Boo. I'm here. Hey, Boo, what do you think of
me selling Raz?
Yeah, what'd you say, Boo?
Well, I mean, this just speaks of heartbreak. I mean, pretty much straight up, he misses this girl, and she's black and blue, and he's sad, and he can't stop thinking about her, and it affects his life, and shit, we've all been there. And the picture that you put there of yourself, I think, is cool because you really do look sad in pictures, so it kind of goes with it. But yeah, the heartbreak is there. Yeah. You usually don't really let your heart out so much, so I think here you were exposing it and showing vulnerability, and that's a good thing. Great job.
Thank you, Boo.
You're welcome.
Awesome. And Headshot, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a great way to express himself, and all the other guys who just want a woman. It's more difficult for him to do so than it is for her, and I believe that I wrote in there undervalued acknowledgement, because I think we are undervalued, and I think it's wearing on the not only the economy but the whole planet, for that matter. Great, right?
You mean it's wearing on men?
Awesome. And what I'm going to do here from here is... Rack, I'm going to play one of yours, my friend. I just picked one out, and so enjoy it.
You got a full house, man. Don't worry about me.
Resolve by Racontuer. You kept my tears as souvenirs, played upon my darkest fears, held my heart in contempt, used me till I was totally spent. Yet I continued to come back for more, no matter how many times you slammed the door. I only wanted to be held by you. Nothing mattered till I knew how you really felt inside. It was then I finally cried. Your indifference in the open, unable to hide. The nature of your deception, even your body lied. You never cared what I was about. My desires meant nothing, held no clout. All that mattered, you got your way. I was never meant to have my say. Emotions you wouldn't let come into play. It all ends today. End poem.
Oh, go boy.
Damn, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. This is a finally a stand up. Pay attention, see what the hell's going on. I really like this, Rack, because it does show strength and shows standing up for yourself, and the way it's presented is damn awesome. Before I go on any further, let us welcome Big Virge himself. Hey, Virge.
Good evening.
Virge, tell me what it was.
Good evening, Big B.
Good evening.
Hello.
Who is that? Is that Razzle? What Raz? What have you been drinking, man? You fucking sound high as count. Without any listeners to come on the show and be abusive and rude. It's like, dude, you're very lively today, man. What have you been drinking? Can you send some over here? Because I'd like some of that. I'd really like some. Quick shout, and obviously greetings, Azakil, greetings, Salwa, greetings, Headshot, and what I've never heard, but you sound like a cool guy. Greetings to Rack, greetings to Jca, and of course to the hostess with the mostest, Boo. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Cool.
Nice.
Do I now get to have a first comment as well, as you grab me before anybody else has?
You may.
This is very cool, isn't it? This is Rack doing his lovesick kind of vibration with the ladies, man. I'm like, dude, you've got to get yourself a cool girl, because all this heartache you seem to be going through with these chicks is just not good, man. You've got to get yourself some love in your life, bro. I really like this as well. This is a very cool poem, very heartfelt, very like heart on the sleeve kind of thing. And I dig it, man. I dig it. You never cared what I was about. My desires meant nothing, held no clout. Really, like, yeah. It's clear that we all have. It's funny. I was talking to my sister earlier on today about this whole idea of. She's just got very much into the Desperate Housewives, and she's saying that even though Desperate Housewives is a crazy kind of sitcom, whatever. The end episode, she said, was something where they were talking about, the narrator's talking about relationships and how relationships can be this and be that. But then along the street of Mysteria Lane, you had all the images of all the people who were in the show over the years, and then you saw in the background all the fights that go on in the back. So this poem reflects on that as far as I'm concerned. So good job, Rack. But we have to find ways to stop all this hatred within our relationships, man. We've got to find more love, for certain.
Thanks, Virge.
Comment.
Cool,
Awesome comment. Azakel, what do you think?
There's some great works here tonight. My favorite part was this set right here. How you really felt inside. It was then I finally cried. Your indifference in the open, unable to hide. The nature of your deception, even your body lied. That's just a powerhouse of a set right there. And then the ending just wrapped it all up. It all ends today. And that's a great way to move forward and have resolution and finalization. And I hope them the best in finding the perfect mate.
Yeah, I actually wrote this a while ago, back when I realized that I was going to get divorced. So, yeah. Yeah. just to put it in perspective.
Been there, done that, seen that. Awesome job. Salwa, what do you think of this?
I heard this before, but hear it again. It's just you can see it is a very sad story, and emotion are really bleeding from every word, especially the last one. You never cared what I was about. My desires meant nothing, held no cloud. There is, as you said, resolve. It's like there is awareness, but there's pain with this awareness. All that matters, you got your way. I never meant to have my say. Emotions you wouldn't allow to come into play. But you know it's the end of it. It's coming, as you said, the divorce. Very digging deep, really, with the story of deception, lies, and not level. We can relate to this easily, some of us. So very beautifully said and said at the same time.
Excellent comment. Boo, what do you think?
Boo.
Boo Bear, are you there?
Oh, no.
Just playing with it.
This is probably like 2020 hindsight for you, Zach, because she sounds like a selfish bitch, but at the time you were probably thought you were in love with her, you know? But now, after you see everything she's done, like you convinced yourself you loved her. And sometimes we do that because we want to be loved and we want to be with somebody, so we overlook the red flags and overlook the shit that's like right in front of her face. And, and, you know, then you finally told her to hit the bricks. You got sick of it, and that's a good thing, too, because sometimes you just think you're never going to have the balls to say anything. And they just keep abusing you, you know? So you got to get the fuck out. It's the only way to get it. Awesome home.
Thanks.
Mr. Raz, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I can see this many different ways. You can be played as a player. You can have relationships and they shut you out. But what comes tomorrow, that's always going to be the day.
That's
awesome comment. And Headshot, I'm going to let you have the last shot, and then I'm going to put your piece on the board.
I think it speaks of the standards we're held to as American men, and it's a bit of supply and demand. It's a lot harder to get a woman than it is for women to get men. So we're not diamonds, we're dirt. Not only do we chase her, but we pay her to spend time with us. So it's a bit one-sided and obvious at that. But we're still in the game, and we're still doing it for, I guess, for a few someday or something. I don't know why, but that's what it seems like. And it's the same story everybody's telling. We've all been through it. And isn't until you get there that you get to move on and add to that, because it's just an addition of everything else life throws at you, and a great way to express yourself.
Thanks, Headshot.
Awesome. And Headshot, you are on the board, my friend.
All right, this one's called High Class. That's a bit like the others. Faster than fast, but slow stole the show. Half a shell, 'cause nobody knows. Time stands still, the wrong way grows. Waves break, but there is still no flow. It's until the sun falls that the moon starts to glow. Sheep don't know when or where to go. Without the captain, slaves won't row. A forest loses its roots, so the other may run. Is anything not everything, nothing and some? Tax my woman, food, water, drugs, home and gun. Take my kids, past and future, let me die, rot or cry, so her reality stays fun. They do after they kill and enslave you for doing what they said not to do, so I'm done. Some have never lost a battle or a war. Doctor gets a boat, our warriors get a crumb. Prisoners of war want to settle a score, so we search for the one. Honor the dead as you look past the shot to the head, so we run. Today needs tomorrow. Fathers need sons. Sacrifice and integrity falls as she creates forever in the end through irrational laws. King Arthur Rimbaud, she reads him like a book. It is what it is all it took. Confused ignorance and cowardism with a hero, now your honor is a crook. Sold a dream to disadvantaged, ungrateful traitors. Look good walking or feel good talking, troops, soldiers, pilots, then sailors. The other 1% should rule before there are more books and trees and the planet dies. Before racism writes laws and America falls. Before reality lies. Before and after all of her spies. End poem.
Wow.
Yeah, this has a real powerful, packed message. You, what's that, Raz?
That's all there is to spies. Counterintelligence. Why just politics?
You got a great point there. And Headshot, this is absolutely a telling piece because as a veteran myself, I've seen the atrocities that regular people try to put on us and turn around and blame us for everything, and or just say that, well, you can't fit into society anymore, so you must be somebody that's horrible. And that's kind of how I know most people don't look at it that way, but there is a system that looks at it that way. And I think that's the worst part of the system, and the saddest part of the system is they don't account for what we've been through or who we are or what we're trying to do right now. And I think that is the thing that absolutely is spelled out in this piece, and you did a marvelous job bringing that out.
Thanks.
Rack, go ahead and make a comment.
Man, this is really moving. There's a couple of really powerful lines that I love. It's not till the sun sets that the moon starts to shine. The transition between the two, the states of the day, that really brings out a thought that I've chased, and you summed it up in like 2 lines. It was beautiful. And the other one about fathers needing sons was I mean, the whole thing was great, but those 2 really jumped out at me. And then, like Jay said, that the tragedy of the way they get treated is that, that expression that, civilians, and I'm one, I was never in service, but, then I totally respect it. The idea of just following orders, and I'm doing a little air quotes here because, that's what you have to do to succeed in the military, to survive, and you have to follow those orders. So, and essentially, they're shaping you into this thing that you can't really live with. The emotional fallout from what goes on, what you see, and what you told you have to do. And you ultimately do just to survive. It's really sad that after doing all of that to you, and compliant and not serving but loyal, and they pay you back by saying, okay, we're done with you, goodbye. throwing you away. I mean, that's really something that needs to be addressed. And every time I see it, I see, discounts for things, stupid things, and nobody, they don't take the veterans into account half the time. Just something to acknowledge into the service. I'm sorry. You hit a sore spot.
Yeah. If I could get a second, it reminds me of the police officers. They sign up for it, and then something happens, and then they want to be rewarded for it, because they look at it a certain way. Same with soldiers. You sign up for it, and especially when you join the forces, you either know if you're deployable or not, if you're actually going to have a chance of risking your life or not. So. Yeah. And it's not everybody. It's like 1% of the 1% of who, because 1% joins the military, and another 1% actually is up front. So it's a very small number, it was a great comment, I guess.
You know what absolutely drove me crazy is they got this event going on in one of our local towns here. It's a come and meet your hero, and they get these commercials on the radio, and it's like, hi, I'm police chief so-and-so, I'm a local hero, come and meet other heroes just like me. That drives me absolutely freaking nuts.
See, that's how they do it, and not to mention, it's stolen valor. They're not troopers. Army cavalry is troopers, and the shield, they shouldn't have a shield. They're for the community, they're not for the planet or the country. And
I know.
So there's several issues, I guess you can call them. But that's how they do it as well as the prisoners of war. They go for the prisoners of war who gave up and quit. Meanwhile, you have other prisoners of war who are actually fighting to this day. And so they blind one with the other and don't give us credit because they honor the dead and take the paycheck, when it's us who are still living, actual prisoners of war, actually worried about our country being invaded and overtook every day, is the ones who should be rewarded, not nobody who didn't die. I mean, people who died. We're here, and I've lost too. But like, there's people who lost several people. So with their death goes us, but they don't look at that. They ignore us, and they just focus on who died and for what.
And then Hollywood sensationalized.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, and we all live with that. Virge, what do you think, my friend?
Well, firstly, very, very well written, very well executed in terms of its delivery. My initial, rather than comment too much, I'm going to pick out some lines. Sheep don't know when or where to go without the captain's slaves won't row. Very, very true, and very, very deep, and very reflective of the world today. Then the next one that I really thought, wow, this is very cool, give me a sec, is anything, not everything, nothing and some, tax my woman, food, water, drugs, home and gun, take my kids, past and future, let me die, what or cry, so her reality stays fun. They do after they kill and enslave you for doing what they said not to do. So I'm done. Headshots, this is some really cool stuff, man. Very socially relevant, very globally relevant. I think it goes way beyond the forces. It now reflects on, that's why I think the sheep verse first. It goes down to masses of people in this world now with relation to COVID, with relation to mandates, with relation to the whole method of now managing what we seem to be heading into in terms of a new normal. I think this was brilliantly written. I put a nice comment there at the end for you, bro. Very much enjoyed. Great job. Well done.
Thank you.
And Raz.
Yeah, Headshot. You have all the combinations of modern day warfare. It takes to a level. There's domestication, and there's the fact that the government or other powers will take advantage of people, and he puts it there. You have them coming at you, and you don't know why anyone is in charge anymore of the family or the schools. but Headshot explained that we're prisoners of war, and as such, we have to accept that others were watching us all the time in order to put us in this position or the situation that we have to know what's really coming before us, or are we still being lied to?
Awesome. Salwa, what do you think?
This is really moving, one. There's two stories. I feel like there's a personal story with she takes her kids and the cat and she there. Someone, I guess, I don't know, I don't want to say something wrong, but I feel like she took away your kids from you and the system helped her as well. And also you put it in another frame where you tell us not about yourself only, but everyone else who was serving, what they have to go through, and the 1% of the one who, it's just a very powerful write from the start, faster than fast, but slow, told the show half, shell cause nobody knows. It's just something that no one really will understand, but people who went through this. I mean, we have empathy and we feel what you said, but we didn't go through what you went through, except the people who really went through this can feel it. There's so many expressions, they're just incredible. Sheep don't know when or where to go without a captive slaves. Some people follow blindly, others not knowing really. I can go on forever. It's really beautifully done. And I will definitely, I hope there's room for me to still put poems on the...
yeah, great comment. It has to do with how times have changed, and now if you just get in an argument or she gets upset with you, she calls the cops, you go to jail and you lose your life, and there's the restraining order, child support, and everything because she's upset. So you either play to her rules and by her game, or you end up like everyone else.
Yeah, I can see that there. Yeah, very.
And there's not a problem with that. Nobody cares. Nobody minds. We like it, but the softness wears and tears on the entire country when it gets big enough, and we're worried about losing the country literally because all the other superpowers are gaining an advantage and growing quicker than we are. So it's obvious at this point we're doomed to fail.
Yeah. Sorry that you had to go through that.
We're going to let Boo make the last comment, and then we're going to put her piece on the board. Boo Bear. Come, Boo.
Your writing. I see maturity in your writing and so much growth in your writing, and just you seem like you're back where you should be, and you got your shit straight, and you're feeling good, and you're standing up for yourself. And I think the break probably helped you out with that. And, we all need a break sometimes, even me. And we don't always take it, and I think it helps your writing. This is sad truth to the way we treat our vets, the way the world is with the wars. And, these bitches that take your kids and just, hold the carrot over your head. You can see your kids if you do this and you do that, but she doesn't even know that she's really fundamentally hurting your kids. So they're going to resent her one day, too. And confuse ignorance and cowardice with a hero. Now you're honoring the crook. So many crooks and scandalous people out there. I think this is strong, powerful, relevant. You have a lot to say, and it's well written. I'm going to nominate this one. I think it's going to come through. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah, So basically, I'm old, and we go through a lot of trials and tribulations, and the best way is to share it through poetry so others can see it and be like, yeah, instead of rack their brain trying to figure this or that out, or somebody says it, and they're like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to say, that's what I've been trying to think, or so on.
Yeah. You just keep standing up for yourself. You're almost there,
It's great to see Irish out on the board, and Boo, your poem is also on the board.
Okay, maybe this sort of personal prison. Okay, every 5 to 7 years, the human body is able to develop an entirely new set of taste buds. Every 7 to 10 years, the human body is able to replace every single skin cell with a completely new one. This means that one day, not too far from now, I will have a body that your fingers never touched, a mouth that never tasted the bittersweet lies resting on your bottom lip. One day, not too far from today, the feeling of your fingertips will no longer linger on my skin. The photos of you will no longer make my skin crawl, and tears of shame and regret will no longer form in the corners of my eyes. My body will be mine again, and you will have no control over any part of me. My brain will be full of only my thoughts and not the thoughts that you trained me to think. My skin will be touched by only those who I trust, and you will never be granted that ability. I will reclaim my power and my sense of self, and one day when I hear it, your name will mean nothing. End poem.
Fuck yeah. I can't, pardon my French, but God dang, this rocks. Oh my God, this rocks. This is what taking back power means. This is what standing up means. This is what I want to see more people do. They need to hear this one, and they need to take control of what's going on. And sometimes you just got to let go of the past. You got to let go of what was. You got to let go of that thing that hurt you, and you got to move forward. This was amazing, Boo. And I'm going to let Raz say that one more time. What is up, Raz?
Yeah, Maharati. It doesn't get more complimentary than this poem. What Boo presents, it's another form of bass here. Every time she takes that mic, I've never seen original poetry like this. If I want to be honest, my days earlier on web poetry was on AOL, and we just play that fucking game every fucking day of the year. We'd come up, anyone improvises a poem. That was early 2000. She has that kind of credit on her behalf. She can come up with it any time of the year, the actual poem. It's right there in all writing, even in this example of what there is of a personal presence.
Awesome comment. Awesome comment. Virge, what do you think about that?
Wow. Hell yeah, as Steve Austin and Stone Cold would say. Give me a hell yeah, because, again, this is a very, very weighty poem, and I think nobody seems to have mentioned that this is clearly a poem about child abuse. Stand up for the children in the image at the top of the poem, and lots of messages about children mattering. It's interesting that everybody talks about Black Lives Matter because of George Floyd, but when we hear about child abuse, nobody's come up with a saying for children matter, which should surely have been done generations ago with the level of child abuse that goes on in this world. So this is very much one of those poems that a lot of people need to hear. But in terms of taking back the power, I think it's one that really needs to be read to every paedophile that is in prison, that has no. In fact, I would use it as a form of torture to them. I would make them sit in their cell and have this played repeatedly while they sleep. So just let them know, like, hey, you understand what you do to people, right? What you've done to young people, to the future, to the people that we are reliant upon to provide more love as we move forward, rather than less love and more hate and less trust, particularly of those who are our adults, our peers, our seniors. I think this is just an incredibly powerful piece of work, and we should not dismiss the real essence of it, which is about child abuse. This is a very, very serious subject, and it's a subject that we really need to do more about, not just in terms of poetry and what we write, but socially. So, yeah, great job, Brian. I'm sorry, Boo. Really, really fantastic effort, and the pain is felt way beyond these words.
Thank you, Virge. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Headshot, what do you think?
I think relationships are complicated. She has to be better than 100 other women that he's been with at best. On the other hand, when he joins the relationship, he's comparing to maybe 1,000 men. So there's always something better, and just because she has something now doesn't mean in 2 to 5 years that something better won't come along. So we're torn in it between this endless bettering of ourselves and on the other hand, we don't want her to settle. We want her to have the very best. So it's a bit confusing what side to root for. But I thought she did a great job of standing up for herself. It's important to get past the trash. There's so many men and boys who aren't men, just calling themselves men, and we're in that position. It's hard to differentiate the boys from the men. And we put her above him just from her experience, and we just trust she does the right thing. So I think this is a great way to stand up for yourself and show other women how to do so as well. Great, right?
Awesome comment. I want to say hello to Patrick, Irish, and Laughing Soul, who are out on the board. Great to see all three of you.
Hello.
And Salwa, what do you think of Boo's poem?
I don't know. I see something else on my maybe. I would love to hear her interpretation, but I see like almost rape in here. Someone who, as she says, my body would be mine again. I will not control over any part of me. There's some abuse. I'm not sure if it's really child abuse or rather maybe rape. I'm not sure. And if this is universal, if it is, then it's again universal message for women. To no matter what happens, you can regain yourself, reclaim your power and sense of self. Because the way you started is a very brilliant saying that every 7 years the human body is able to develop entirely. Must be, which is I think it is true, but then you take it a different direction to where you said the feeling of your fingerprints will no longer linger on my skin. That's what led me to think this way. And my body will be mine again. And then there's also the shame, how to think. So I don't know. It could be both. It could be child abuse. It could be rape. So I'm not sure which one is it. But it's a universal message for women to really they can get over it and find themselves again, reclaim themselves. Powerful, rightful. And I have room still in I don't know if they didn't kick me out yet. I'm going to definitely post this one.
Thank you.
Sending pics. You're welcome.
Thanks, Salwa.
All right.
I want to hear your interpretation.
Well,
do you mind, or you don't want to talk about it?
Yeah.
I just want to.
No, I don't mind.
Yeah. Is it okay, JC?
No, we were doing an exercise at work, like we're in group therapy for abuse, some like child abuse, spousal abuse, and everything. So that was like part of the homework they gave us. So that's what I wrote, and it is a true story too, because it happened to me for many years, and I was younger, and it just fucks you up for the rest of your life. Really, it fundamentally ruins who you are. It takes a piece of you you can never get back. It ruins you for other men and so many other things. Trust, and so I just it was supposed to be to the abuser, so he's supposed to read it, and I hope if he burns in hell, he does.
Thank you.
Awesome. And next up, we're going to hold on 1 second. I want to welcome someone to the show, and that's why everybody is off mute. Welcome, Bella.
Yay! I was just talking about her yesterday. Bella.
Hola, Bella.
Hi, excuse me. Hola, Boo. I've had your poem.
Bella, I dreamed about my sleep.
Hello, Bella.
I want some of what Raz is having.
Yeah. It's not. This is different today.
Did you want to say something, Headshot?
I was just going to say the laws of abuse have changed so much over the past 100 years. We don't hit women anymore. So basically what I think is a whole bunch of white people used to beat a whole bunch of women, and then now women are like, oh, it's my body, don't touch me, don't beat me, because they've been beat since forever. And just recently the teachers were hitting kids. I don't know if teachers still hit kids, but when I grew up, our teachers hit us. So now they want to preach this or preach that when it was totally different as they did to us. So, I mean, it's just a bit confusing, but we'll get it figured out sooner or later.
Well, anybody who's a man knows that you don't touch a child, and if you don't know that, then you need to fucking
now, but 100 years ago it was legal. So even the cops and the lawyers and everybody would beat women, and it was okay. And because the women weren't allowed to say that, we can believe that. We believe that now, but we didn't before that. And we should be acknowledged for that, not punished as if we were the old boyfriend or the old white man beating you from 100 years ago. We don't do that no more. And the problem is the punishment as well. Like when they do that, have harsher crimes. They're just baby footing everything, so letting the crimes evolve and then come back again, so they can make more money off of it. Because that's what they do. If everything got better, they wouldn't get paid.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Unfortunately, there's too many of them out there still like that. But the numbers are smaller, but they're predators, and they're just that's what they do, sadly. And none of you gentlemen here are like that. I know that, so that's a good thing, but there's a lot of scumbags out there.
Boo, you see, Azakel said he's nominating you for that poem. Awesome.
I did too.
Thank you.
Boo, you're hard. That's straight up Nat. That's Nat saying, fuck you. Everyone.
What's her name?
Yeah, there you go, Raz. Raz, I love your song tonight.
Here's what
did you drink?
I got something.
Where did you drink, Ross?
Well, I got something extra special for. I got something extra special for everybody. I'm going to put mine up next. Who?
I haven't commented on Boo.
Okay, Bella, you can comment on Boo.
Because I looked at that and what's going on, and the first poem that I saw was Boo, because my lazy ass, been lying down all day. This is different from Boo's, right? Or maybe I was just being lost for how many weeks and not seeing a lot of rights recently. But I asked myself, this is far different from Boo's voice, although there is still part of her that you can really tell that it's her, because she's always the getting up part, you know what I'm saying? And she trips and she gets back up right away and then just dusts everything out and then, walk like a goddess. That's how she is made of. But I read it like twice, and I felt the pain on each of the poems that the words that she placed in there. What my favorite part is when she said, "My body will be mine again, and you will have no control over any part of me." I love that very much, and I believe that in time, or not even in time, right now she's already telling that darkness in her that happened in her, that your name means nothing anymore. And I believe that. And you rock, you know that. Love this poem.
Thank you. Love you.
I don't know where my memory. Virge, did I ask you to comment on this? I don't remember.
Yes, you did, Russ. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
By the way, whilst just before I carry on, not that I should be making a request at all, but just whilst we're in this kind of place and stuff, don't forget where my piece is as well, Joe. Mine is very relevant to the last year, particularly headshots. I'd like to sort of relate it back to headshots if we get a chance to, okay? Just so you know.
All right. What I do is I got something extra special for you guys. This is in the a little bit of a character. So I thought I'd bring this, and this is a little bit of Two-Face from Batman. So call this Flip It Good. Flip It Good by JCA. Double the fun, double the pleasure. Somebody put an angel on my shoulder. Or maybe a devil. I can't decide. How about we flip a coin? Heads I win, tails you lose. But what would be the fun in that? After all, isn't life a chance? One chance choice and you're rich. One chance gene and you're handsome. One chance Batman not caring enough to try and save a friend, and you end up hideous. Poor Harvey Dent. Oh, hell. Enough about me. This is about you, Mr. Tied Up and No Place to Go. I've got this coin. I'm gonna flip it. Heads, you get to go home to the missus and Junior and... Oh, who the hell am I kidding? You're going home to microwave dinners and boobs.com, and maybe if you care enough tonight, you might pick up those stale old pizza boxes. Nah. And tails, let me see. That's right. I kill you. Simple as that. So you ready to look chance straight in the face? Come on, be a man. Don't turn your head. Just one little flip of the coin, and it'll be over. You know what? I really like you. But I'm afraid.
Tails.
What's in boobs.com?
Did I leave boobs speechless or what?
No, I'm wondering what's in boobs.com.
Boobs.com is for big booty girls, for boys and girls to go and look at their big booties shake and jiggle and whatever else people are doing with them like that. Don't play innocent, Bella. We know you know about boobs.com. We know.
Sorry.
The Boo, are you there?
I don't even know that character. You do characters so well and voices so well that I want to know who the character is. And I thought that was entertaining. And the whole thing, boobs.com, oh, who am I kidding? Going home to those dinners, like the bullshit that people think our life is so exciting, but if they really knew the truth, they would see it's mundane and boring. And I like your voice there. I thought you were going to bust out singing there for a minute, but surprised me again. Good job, Jay. And
Thanks, Boo.
Razzle Dazzle. What'd you think?
Yeah, plenty of originality here. You're sparking a fever that's gonna break down Las Vegas and make it seem senseless because it's just only solicitation instead of trying to look deeper into its soul.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Did I lose you?
Well,
I said Salwa. Is Salwa still here?
Oh, you didn't hear you. Salwa.
Yes. Salwa. Is Salwa on mute now?
Oh, no, sorry.
No,
yes, I was. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was on mute, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you have this talent to perform. It's incredible. You can do any character with just the personification of it. I don't know who it is, but I like I think it's almost talking about a devil, someone who's so evil. Maybe I'm wrong. I see someone who evil who can flip the coin on both sides. That's what you're trying to say? or is it, or I didn't get it? So are you ready?
Let me give you a little backstory on this. This Harvey Dent used to be the district attorney for Gotham City, and he used to work with Batman on bringing criminals to justice. But what happened in this horrible accident that Harvey blames on Batman, half of his face was burned, turning him into this hideous person who has almost a dual personality. One personality wants to destroy everything, and the other one kind of reaches back to the old Harvey Dent. And so he flips this coin all the time to determine chance. And that's where the coin comes in.
Wow, that's a brilliant poem. Thank you for the explanation. I thought it was an evil person, like try to be good, pretend to be good, but then he's evil. So thank you for
I'll dive in. I'll dive in. Right, good. I thought I was waiting for you to say something. I'll dive in. No, actually, Sal, you're spot on it, because it is really about that. That's what Harvey Dent is, as Josie explained. The only bit he didn't tell you is the interesting part, which is that he used to have a normal double-headed coin. So he would always flip the coin and say heads before people would get a chance to make their choice, so he knew he was always winning. But when he then became Two-Face and had the burning, what also happened to the coin is that one side of the coin was burned and the other side stayed normal. So now it was almost as if he became the duality of evil and good and not knowing which way to go. But the coin all of a sudden became the truth, because the coin now was fair. The coin he would just toss the coin, and now it was if it went on the dark side or the burn side, you die, it would kill you. But if it was on the light side, you get a blind, you get a pass. So it really is, the Two-Face character is really one of the truly great and very relevant characters to the human psyche and how we have that internal battle of good and evil within ourselves all the time. But because he was a lawyer, it becomes even more poignant. It's a bit like that whole scenario from the movie Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino playing the devil. It's like, I'm doing all these things. I'm going to give you all the opportunities. But understand that what you're doing is leading you down a very dark path. This poem reflects on that in its entirety in terms of its performance, its words, pure genius as usual when it comes to the whole characterization of somebody like this. Great job, JC. Very much enjoyed. I loved it. Really good. Really good.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Bella.
Did you call for Boo?
Hi.
Bella. Oh, Bella. Hello, Bella.
I'm here. I'm here. Okay, I got distracted about the boost.com, which is very interesting. It's the first time. That is my crazy side, okay? But on my very, very subtle and quiet side, I see something, a struggle between the person, right? We all do. And then it's going to be hypocrite if I will not admit that I do that all the time too. We all do flipping coins, allowing the two-faced guy to manipulate whatever decisions that we have. And what's funny about that, because you do that alone, in that way you can flip it again if you don't see heads coming out or tails coming out, right? So I can see there's something in there that they have to dig deeper, right, JCA, so others can relate with the story that you hid behind the character right there. But you know what? I love that man. And what I love most is, Jca, who I love most is Jca, but not the two-faced one, though. But this one is beautifully written. You have to dig JCA's foot out of the grave so that you can yank out whatever is going in that poem. Bing, bing. Love you, brother.
Thank you. All right. Let us listen to a little audio here. We're going to bring up...
Hey, Jay, get it up. I want to do something. Okay? So, I'm the boss, so you have to listen, okay? This is for everybody who doesn't know how awesome that he can do this stuff.
Called A Joker's Monologue. And Jay has left the room, and Mr. J has come in. This is my monologue. I don't care if it's Gotham City or Sydney, Australia. There's a situation that needs to be addressed. Have I been wrong? Check. Have I been cheated? Check. Have I been laughed at? Check. What kind of joke do you think I am? Why, one with a punchline, of course. Woo-hoo. Let me tell you how it is. Everyone's a critic, talking about impressionists, surrealists, cubists, while I'm just given a blacklist. I'm an artist too. I just want people to take me seriously. You see, I can be an impressionist. I could blow you up to Kingdom Come and leave your impression all over the wall. I could be a surrealist. Have you ever seen what a vat of acid can do to a human body? Salvador Dali, eat your heart out. I could be a, who the hell understands cubism anyway? Moral of the story, I'm an artist. One of a kind, baby. Top of the endangered species list. And my art? Unique, priceless. You could even say it's to die for. I kill myself.
Hilarious.
Great for
You go, boy. You sound like Nicholson, exactly. Everything of the last, everything about it.
And a little bit of Heath Ledger in there as well. I have to say, it's got a little Heath Ledger quality in there too. And you know, may rest in peace because it was a genius performance. I meant to say that about your poem in relation to it. But for those who are listening and saying, "Oh, I don't know who this character," well, both those characters now, the Joker and Two-Face, are in that second Batman movie of the trilogy by Christopher Nolan. And if you haven't seen The Dark Knight, it is a high recommendation on my list of movies for anybody to watch, because even if you think you're not going to enjoy a film about Batman, you're not into superheroes, and that, it's not just about that. That particular superhero movie deals with humanity. It deals with the flaws in human beings. It deals with the whole issue of being the good guy one day and then the next being the bad guy, and wondering where you can redress the balance of being the right person in amongst these two. So the Joker's a good pick there, Bruce. It's a good thing to remind people that, listen, man, these guys that write these kind of things, these stories about comic heroes, particularly Batman, because it's much more grounded in reality, because he has no superpower. It's just that he wants justice. But the way that these characters are then molded around him and how they ask incredibly moral questions of not only him but themselves is also very much part of what these poems are both reflected upon. So great job again, Jason.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say anything about Jay's performance there? Feel free.
Boo, you embarrassed me, Boo. But my face is burning, Salwa.
I know, I can see why.
It's a very interesting, right? You know.
You had
I appreciate it.
Nicholson. You sent the word. Like an amazing, good job, Jay. Okay, shutting up now.
Okay.
In this film, JCA spoke about how a person can be different compared to other person, and if another one is, we cannot compare what we have to other person. Like with JCA mentioned his the Catalan painter, which is Salvador, and Cubism. They are kind of painter. The Salvador paints differently, an abstract painting with different kind of strokes in there, and the Cubism as well is different compared to what Salvador can do. So basically, JCA is stating in here how one person is different from another despite what kind of talent they have. And I agree to that, because I cannot tell other person that I am better than this one. Well, this one is better, can do something that I cannot do. You know what I'm trying to say? So we are uniquely crafted, every one of us. Yeah, like this one. Love it.
The one thing people don't realize is that everybody looks at like, I know when we were growing up, we used to look at the comic books and stuff like that as little kid things, or you know, especially with how much of a joke they made the old Batman look like and the old Spider-Man look like and everything like that. When in reality, the creators of these comics actually took personality traits of people and instilled them into these people, into the characters in a serious way, and they were meant for serious storytelling, and they weren't meant for the comedy per se. So when I write these poems and get into the characters, I'm trying to kind of grasp a hold of the character personalities that the original creators meant for these characters, and that's pretty much what I'm after here. And I hope you guys can see that. I think especially when we're talking about something like the Cobblepot and talking about Penguin and how he was really isolated in his life, different things like that. So each of them have their own little story.
All of those kids, if they're ugly, I love that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And like I said, every single one has its own story. So it's something important to grab a hold of. We can learn so much from them. And like Virge said, it is something that is, even if you don't think you'll like a Batman movie, it goes much deeper into that because it's grasping at what the original creators wanted to grab a hold of. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's move on here, folks, and I'm going to play another audio. This time it's going to be from somebody who's on the line, a little bit of Salwa. So let's go ahead and put Salwa's on board.
I love poems. My first ball, mon premier bal. The music mingled with my shy laugh, and the evening had already started. He took gently my hand to waltz, my curly hair running down his face. All red, I saw his soul radiated in his grayish blue eyes, twirling me in circles, hoping to intertwine, fortunately from fear of being caught by the nun's vigilant eyes. He was well behaved, otherwise I would have passed out in his arms. He tried to kiss my lips. Shyly, I stepped on his foot with the heel of my shoe. Each time I wanted to sit down, he held my hand and tell me, Gino, I want to dance with you the whole night. We danced and danced until it was time to go home with the chaperon. La musique s'est mêlée à mon rire timide. La soirée a déjà commencé. Il m'a pris par ma main avec douceur pour valser. Mes cheveux bouclés se sont lancés sur son visage. Toute rouge, je voyais son âme rayonner dans ses yeux grisâtres, bleus, en me tournoyant en rond, voulant m'entrelacer. Heureusement, de crainte d'être attrapée par les yeux vigilantes, les sœurs, il s'est bien comporté. Sinon, je me serais évanouie entre ses bras, il aurait tenté de m'embrasser. Et moi, toute timide, je tribulais sur son pied, avec le talon de ma chaussure. Chaque fois que je voulais m'asseoir, en me serrant la main, il me disait « Tu sais, je veux danser qu'avec toi toute la soirée. » On a dansé jusqu'il fallait rentrer ce soir avec un chaperon. End of poem.
Oh, awesome. I know Boo knows all about chaperones, right, Boo? I love this poem. Yeah, I love the way you took this. There's a purity behind, an innocence behind it, and I think that you did a wonderful job in putting this together. It's like a first love. It's like seeing someone for the first time, and I think that was a nice blended way to look at this. Raz, what'd you think?
Yeah, she has it down completely right here. You know, men and women, they tend to disrespect in modern relationships. You have boys calling girls sluts. You have girls calling faggots. None of it's true. If you had the standards of the 60s and the 70s, when you go out on a date, you respect it like your parents would. You want to last.
Awesome. Let me get a comment from Virge. Virge, what do you think about that one?
You know, this is a little bit more. I really like this because I like the music as well, Salwa, because it was a really upbeat kind of feels and rendition of a situation dealing with romance and love and the heel on his shoe when he drives by mistake and stuff. It's like there's a levity, if that's the right word, levity is in the lightness to this that also makes it kind of gives a feeling of joy about the whole process of finding love or being in an awkward position where you know you want that love but you're not quite sure how to go about getting it. I actually really enjoyed this, and I thought this was quite a slight departure from your normal tone in terms of the music you choose as well for what you recite. So I really enjoyed it. I thought this was really cool.
Can I say something? Actually, this is really a real story when I was in high school. It really happened. So with the nuns, so it's a true story that came to my mind. It was for a contest for dancing, your first ball or something. So that's why it took me there. But it is a real story. And I thank you both. I didn't hear you as finishing, and then thank you, Big Verse too.
Yeah, no, I just want to add then on that tip that that realness comes out in it then. That the fact that it was a real occurrence, it really comes across. It's like there's I can feel the energy of this going on.
That's the problem, misconception that everyone gets laid at the prom.
I think that's the last
That's true.
Ladies what?
I was thinking about that.
I'm having a hard time hearing. I don't know why.
No. It's like there is this horrible perception these days about proms, about dances in high school and everything like that. That the guy is going to get some hoochie coochie there. All right, we'll lay it down like that.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we'll call it hoochie coochie. But I love the innocence behind this one.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so much better.
I agree.
Bella, what do you think?
Okay, because the reason why I laughed earlier when after what's his name, Raz, made a comment, because I was thinking the same thing, only I was thinking about the classical movie where, you know, the Miss Prim and Proper girl meets her high school crush and so on in the prom. And the prim and proper girl be blushing and the demure flirting will be going on. And there's only two endings to that. It's either the lady will be taking home the man as a chaperone, or she really has a chaperone waiting outside. But I like this vibe because I like classical movies or classical events where you just close your eyes and then you wish that, I wish that I live in that scenario, you know, instead of having this kind, which I adore to the future or the this kind of generation. But then again, I cannot relate 100 times compared to the ones. Maybe I'm an old fart. But I loved everything that you wrote in here, Salwa. It's so beautiful. And you said that it really happened in real life, and that gave another kudos because you made this one like a dream. You know, if you let a teenager read this one, they would just simply say, I wish I'm there. And I'm not a teenager, but I'm wishing I'm there too, you know. Thank you very much, Salwa. It's a beautiful ride.
You're welcome. It's so cute. I love you.
And might we let Boo comment? Let's let Boo comment on this. Boo?
You know, as Catholic schoolgirls, we're the worst. No kidding. But this reminds me like that awkward time when you're a teenager and you know you like somebody and you have the butterflies and the floating over the clouds and everything and you don't know what to do because you've never done this before and like you think he should make the move and he wants you to make the move. This reminds me of, and an innocence too of going to the dance and then, you know, knowing you have to go back to the nuns who'll probably tell you you've been sinning all night long. You have this dirty thoughts or whatever. They're always showing us about the guilt, you know. But it's a fun poem, and I could see it happening. And you probably remember everything about it. His name and that's how it's girl, but I thought it was really cute and a little bit different for you too, Salwa. That was nice.
Mother Teresa never had spike punch.
I don't know where I can hear you guys. It's just there's an echo. Or is it me? I'm having hard time hearing clearly.
I don't know. I think I don't know what it would be there, Salwa. But Boo, just do about 6 Our Fathers, 13 Hail Marys, and we'll forgive you. Okay.
Okay. Couple Hail Marys will fix everything. Fix my horn around.
Oh. All right. Welcome to the show. Let's welcome to the show, Laughing Soul and Hey Soul.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. I didn't want to miss action.
We're gonna have action now.
Boo, we've got Salwa, with a little piece of boobs.com over here. So I didn't want to miss the action. I think JC has set the stage, so Salwa's poem was perfect, you know, romanticizing a man and not nature for a change. Bella, so nice to hear you. How are you, my dear?
I'm wonderful. I want to be recruited to boobs.com, so I'll be, working in Hooters and like boobies.
I want to know all about it. I want to know all about it.
Okay. Let's reel it in here, folks.
Okay. Let's talk about the guy with the grayish blue eyes. Oh my God! So it's
that guy?
That's the guy from Salwa's book.com.
No. It was a school really because we had 2 schools, like the Catholic boys' school, the Jesuit, and the girls' school Catholic. We had all these dances under the year. That's what it was.
No, this is such a sweet, innocent, flirtatious piece, And I mean, over here, you are actually romanticizing a man and not nature. I love that. But poor guy, thank God you didn't, get on his foot with your heels. And I just love, this is like, I think we all must have been through this during our prime days. I have a lot of such stories. I was telling Salwa, and this piece is so vibrant, so much of fun. I enjoyed it. Loved it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, my darling.
I think it's that time. Me and Boo have been discussing in the background a little bit, and we figured it's time for a brand new poem of the week. So we've been listening, we've been hearing, we've been doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and trying to figure out, okay, what direction are we going? What are we gonna do?
No,
and then we heard. Then we heard something. But we heard something yesterday, Boo, that really, really kicked us off. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and play the SoundCloud for our poem of the week. And congratulations, Laughing Soul, for getting the poem of the week.
Yay. Congrats, my musings of him.
Listen to this, fella.
A poem by Laughing Soul. I wonder when he wakes up, does he think of my ginger curls fallen like dainty daisies on my face? And he's so longing to move them, to see my ambitious smile teasing his salt and pepper grace. I wonder when he wakes up, do the creases on his bed form my silhouette? I wonder when he wakes up, does that place next to his left arm make him Mrs. Brunette? I wonder and feel the whiff of cool breeze tantalize my chapped lips. I wonder and feel the sunshine dancing on my drapes, bloom in my heart scarlet tulips. I wonder when he wakes up, does he wonder if I'm thinking of him? I wonder when he wakes up, do my rosette verses asunder like butterflies, flirtatiously flaming his whim? Oh darling, if to live is not to love, I wonder then, for what are the stars above? End poem.
Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, you deserve this. You deserve this. This is incredible. I know you heard all our comments last night, so I think we really need Bella to comment on that. Bella, did we leave Bella speechless? Bella.
I'm here. I lost you. I thought I was alone because you guys are so quiet. But then again, probably it's my phone just messing up. What's with the sexy ladies tonight? Okay. She said a lot of I wonder when he wakes up, and I wonder. She's wondering about a lot of things. But did she ever wonder if the guy slept that night? So yeah, I like this one. Okay, I like this, and it's very sexy, but there's I don't know, not decency, but sexy but classy. It's flirtatious and it's yearning and it's longing. It's all above that. It's sultry and love is encapsulated with lust. That I have that belief, and I I don't care about what other people will tell me, but I tell them myself that love is always encapsulated with loss. Because if you don't love the person that you love, you will not have all of this. You know what I'm saying? So I love when you said, do my verses asunder like butterflies flirtatiously flaming his swim. Oh, that one is so beautiful. That line alone is like a poet already. And congratulations, Boo and the JCA did a perfect job picking this poem. And it deserves everything, because even the ending, darling, if to live is not to love, I wonder then, for what are the stars above? Can you tell me? This is a perfect piece. Short but perfect. Thank you for sharing.
Now, Bella, I got a question for you. When you listen to her voice, is it not authentic, and do you not totally fall in there and believe every single syllable that's being spoken?
That's just you, Jay.
You tell us, Jay.
Okay. Yeah, I do believe it. All right. Virge. Virge, what do you think about that?
Simply beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just to sort of diving on that last comment, I actually heard little tones of Salwa in that performance. I could hear that kind of almost faltering speech in terms of that. Oh, the feeling. I wonder, the wonderment of this whole love and romance, and what is he thinking? Does he think these things? Like, it took me back again. This is like the only show I ever really reminisced about my ex-girlfriend myself. It made me think of a lot of mornings where she was the type of woman who I would go to work and I wouldn't know until I got to work that she's put a note in my pocket and say, have a good day, gorgeous, or something like that. And it would be, it's such a small thing, but in the context of something like the wonderment of what romance really is for people, it's precious. It's like literally like the ring from the Lord of the Rings. It's precious, man. It's a really big thing. Great rendition. Really loved the way you delivered it. Loved the content. Loved it. It's absolutely fantastic. By the way, I think on the board, a worthy, whatever was in the mix for possibly winning the poet of the week. It had a tough job to beat this, believe it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Boo, do you wanna put in a comment, Boo?
Man, I nominated this for the front page twice and it's still not up there, and it should be. And I did an amazing poem. It's honest and it's romantic, and she puts it all out there. I mean, and her voice is sensual, seductive, it's sexy. I mean, what man wouldn't want to listen to that? And it's poetic and beautiful at the same time, and it's about loyalty and respect and love, and it's just written beautifully, and your voice just nails it. I mean, gave me a boner. Seriously. Love it.
Like Bella said, you need lust, right?
Dear,
marry me, soul. Please marry me.
Here I am trying to
Let's
be so
do
polite
it.
about this kind of poetry, and there's Boo with, this gave me a boner. Like, what?
Salwa.
Oh, my goodness! I mean, I love it. I did not nominate it too. Just a beautiful. You have a gift of words and gift of voice. Just put them together, it melts the heart. I mean, if it melts the heart of us, then imagine the heart of who it was meant to be for. It's really beautiful. Very, very moving, and just every word. I love the repetition. It's just confirm it. And the idea of waking up and thinking of you, that's just the romance, the queen of romance.
Salwa, please take you to Kashmir.
Pardon me?
Salwa, we'll
you have balls, for real.
Yeah. She's telling me that.
You said Kashmir, what? I heard
and
Kashmir,
we'll take you. I said we'll take you along with us to
yes,
find you your blue-eyed.
No, he's got married.
They want to bring you to Kashmir. They want to bring you to Kashmir.
He's married happily, so no, too late. He's married.
He's Kashmir, Bella, so get it worked.
They want to bring you to a trip to Kashmir, so.
Oh, yes.
Just the name alone, Kashmir, says it all.
I'm coming to visit. I'm planning, actually, yes, in the future. Let's
come on.
Raz, what do you think of that?
Oh, we have Raz here. Hey, Raz, hello.
I have my own opinion on this poem. It's a great poem, but what I read here is teenage desperation of clinging on to each other because it's that desperate, the act of wanting physical love. And that's my personal opinion. And when you're in that state, you're young, you want that physical love, there's nothing else that explains love.
All right. I think what we'll do next.
I want physical love. I'm not a nun, so I put it right there in my words. You know, if the man doesn't want it, you know, let him.
Right. Give it up already.
Yeah, like I'm 46. What do you want me to do? Like, you know, sit and.
That's what we're talking about.
Fuck it,
right?
man.
Yeah, need some D. Vitamin D.
And I'm going to stay a teenager all my life, so the man buck up, you know. So.
All right.
We're
gonna go ahead.
Hey, we're going to go to boobs.com, so don't worry about that, okay?
Okay, there you go. All right, Raz.
I'll be over at
Raz, you're up, brother.
Okay, I'm going to change the tone of voice here. This is a little bit society, a little bit folk, a little back.
Damn you.
Hey, Raz, I love you tonight. There's something in you right now.
Raz, you ever been to boobs.com?
I'm there. That has nothing to do with that. Fill in description. 10 hired hitmen. Parents. What kid killer visions. Doing the fine lines of saddle enemy. And the eyes blood tried with the loading dock regulations. Off the safety coil, the video cassette playing. Game theories from Alienwares and download malwares or hallowed simulators. Recipe, plotting dash, Whitewood, a good murder mystery. Contradiction of terms, which was on the days you were born. They were all timed. Tables handled. Hypertension valve. The beautiful volume speaker is trembling. Dolby test advanced cohesion. Evasive detection. The stars burst, lurching phantom arms around human figures. Neck-tied bones shoulder. Drilling recorded red tape. The hub of the cradle of the rock. Tumbled. Scarring uppercut. Decompression to the modulation. Jug jut. Test fan theory. Hung up on theoretical facts. Multiple assault. Attack gridlock. Damage sustained, subtract. Red eye camera flare. Family dining room snapshot. Ritual rupture. Lifeline peaks. Narrow stationary cross mergers. Ruin ambition. The masked monkey faces. Holding figurative. Semi-automatic weapon at the data bank storage. Vault the fake coins. Resenting a conservative formula. Like Benny Goodman, who's been redone by bit proof of coin, digital artist to express 10 seconds of blank audio with the instant situation in the series montage, colossal, collage, rendition. You are one now, for what is the slightest urge decision? Describe, description field, intangible, elemental, rebuttal. Describe, description field, sublining, linear heading, contained feelings, contained. We are emotions, indescribable, contamination material. These damn allegations are constructed, capillary junctions, opus, deniable, and poem.
Wow.
Yeah, the depth in this poem is just fabulous. I almost go from DOS up to 5G because you're just jumping all over the place as far as stuff that used to be and stuff that is. This is like you're jumping around from the 70s to modern time, and I kind of like the way that you did that. And I'm going to read your prompt down here. But the thing was eating up his mind, of course, and the torment had become almost unbearable from the Lord of the Rings. And this right here is quite, like I said, quite the interesting thing. You bring in pop culture. I don't know if a lot of people recognize it, but I really do because I noticed you mentioned video cassettes, you mentioned game theories, you mentioned Halo simulators and everything like that. So I think that a lot of that stuff, like I said, you were all over the place. You go to Bitcoins and then you go to Benny Goodman. I don't know how much more do you want to go back and forth there. This is very clever, Raz. Very impressed with this. Hey, Virge, what do you think about this?
What do I think? I'm like, you just said, basically what I do. I'm like, again, Raz, man, where is your train of thought when you go from one thing to the other? Where is it all really heading us towards? Is there an overall just distaste for everything that the world has presented? Is that what we're supposed to take from this? Is it that we're supposed to assess that look how such diverse and such different things can be all interwoven and interrelated and part of the very matrix of what society's become? Just an amazing thing, an amazing right, as ever. The same comment that you always did from me. Never could somebody talk about having a valid opinion of this poem on one read. Read and absorb probably 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 times before you start to even gauge the magnitude of a lot of what's being said. So again, very interesting right. Always like to hear what you have to say about this. You say in such a unique way. Very enjoyable.
That's how I'm trying to bring you, Virge, postmodernism as best as possible. You know, right now I have 326 at ranking at allpoetry.com. Right. I've been there under the 500s for over a year.
Right.
You know, boy.
Yeah, I can't even get there, though. I can't get anywhere near the under 500s. Like I said, it works. It definitely works.
Awesome. And Bella, what do you think?
Bella's sleeping already. Raz, what did you do tonight? How come you sound differently? Like really different. You're a little bit, still tired a bit, but not very much. You're a little bit loose, and just watch out, I'm just saying.
I like it, Raz. I like it.
It's a good news.
Raz is smoking the ganja.
Yeah, I know. So you should pass it over, But yeah, I like how Raz thinks sometimes. Sometimes because sometimes I can get him. Sometimes I have to ponder my brain, and it's really hard for me to do that because I'm loaded with a lot of stuff, and then Razzle will throw in a piece that I have to think and think and think until my brain is all, dried. But I think this talks about what's going on with our generation. No, this is not my generation, and I'm so sorry. I don't like this. I have a problem with adapting, where I have this thing, when you put me in this one spot, I have to retain in that. If you move me, you have to guide me slowly about it. But like I said, I came to this kind of generation where all my movements are closely monitored, and I appreciate that in a way that other people will not appreciate, especially the ones who's growing up in this kind of the generation, because they have their own will and their own thing. But we have what I had, what they can never understand, and maybe in time I will understand how they are being raised, especially when I talk about people. I hate numbers. I really do. My friend asked me one time, how come you didn't purchase the Bitcoin? And I told her that firstly, it's very expensive. And then secondly, I hate numbers. Thirdly, I don't like playing with numbers. So I just rather put it in the bank where my earnings will grow slowly, but it will grow in time. And what the kids are doing right now, they are teaching me. So I have nephews. I have a 15-year-old niece. She teaches me how to do online banking. Yes, sorry about that. I don't know anything about it, but I'm scared to what's happening now, because it feels like as if we are going to twilight where all I can see will be robotics and things that I will not understand. But help me, God, Raz. I cannot understand some of your writings, but please. I love you.
So,
I think
it's
I got it.
understandable,
Can I try?
All of those are social propositions, and the title is filled in the description because that's all you have to do is look up modern times, what everyone's telling you through the media and other social forums, and then you make up your own answer yourself.
You know what shocked me though? Just a little glimpse. So we were watching this kind of movie, and then my cousin told me that it happened in real life, and I said, no, what? The camera. The reason why there's people started like covering the camera because this one person, I will not say a thing, said what happened in there, and I was so shocked because if you get naked inside your room and there's a camera in there from the PC, then someone else out there can see you getting butt naked, and I'm scared. I didn't know that they can prey on your private life like that right now, like nowadays, but
no, they're obviously sexual
the cameras
perverts.
later.
You don't spy on people when they're naked, even the government.
All right.
I adopted this, right? You know what I do? I do it gently.
All right. Salwa said she wants to try, so let's let Salwa make an effort at this.
Okay, I see something. I don't know if that's right or wrong. From the beginning, when you say Penn hired hitmen to spy on the parents want to monitor the kids, what they watch, and regulation and videos. Some parents do, some parents don't. And you take us in a different place with the parents. I see him in the dining room or where is it? Family dining room, snapshots, ruined ambition, he masked the monkey. Parents, like the kids maybe don't like how the parents are controlling them, or the opposite. There's not enough monitoring of their own children today. Like we used, like Bella said, we used to
reality,
see.
Salwa. Everyone is being monitored right now by people surveillance.
I cannot hear.
Even our kids when they watch YouTube or other forms of television. And we have to accept that, but it's not legally right. We all know it's not legally right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I think that's what you're talking about by the description. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see there. That and then so maybe I was close. that's what I see. Because you talk about family and the dining room and how people maybe used to eat together and have family time. Now all of this kind of changed with the new generation, maybe. You have to read it multiple times, but that's the first impression I got from the reading. Because you are hard to really, because you talk about.
Consider me Bob Woodward if he was an unknown poet.
Okay.
Even telling you that much in a poem.
Pardon me? I just don't know why I'm having a hard time. Is it my phone or why I can hear very well?
Woodward, you know who brought down Nixon? The reporter.
Yeah. I'm having the same problem. Is Jay here?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. What do you think about that poem, Bella?
Oh, sorry.
I meant Boo. Boo, what do you think, Boo?
Well, I like, you always have, like, a lot of times you have technology references in there, and I think that's really cool. I like your reference to the Adobe. I think that's funny because, you know, they're usually media coding that reduces the amount of data that you need to produce a high quality of sound. So maybe you're saying, like, we're overindulged and everything's too loud and everything's technology and everybody's out of touch, and that's kind of what I see there. And the Bitcoin, presenting a conservative formula, I think that's amazing. I can tell you that Bitcoin is good to me. That was actually one smart move that I made. So I'm grateful for that. But it's just glad you took something in your head. Very, I don't know, I kind of see like you're over the disconnections, kind of. I don't know if I'm right, but it's a cool poem. I like all your references.
Well, we have to disconnect from people watching us all the time just because there's media. Weren't you the one who said media is bullshit, Boo?
What'd you say?
Weren't you the one who said media is bullshit? They don't have the right to watch us just because we're watching a recording.
No, media.
Yeah, no.
The media, Boo.
Yeah.
The media.
Yeah, the media that, you know, I'm talking about the fake news and shit, Fox and all that crap that gives us false information and dramatizes everything, and everything's so dramatic and over scare tactics that are scary and stuff right now. I think that's a lot of that going on.
That's showing the right descriptions, but anyone can generate anything from the poem.
Yeah. I love technology. I love computers. I love all that stuff. So, no, I'm guilty.
All right, Boo. Okay, let's go ahead and let Boo read the next poem, which is from Irish, who is listening in right now.
Did somebody give Angel the link? I forgot.
Yes. She had to get going though. We'll get her read here in a little bit.
Yeah,
and
you need the link. And we need a poem from Bella, don't we?
Yeah, we got a poem from Bella. We got a poem from everybody, Bill.
Okay.
And we got you reading Irish next.
Okay, got it. This is Red Rivers and Irish Cat. Dark thoughts chanting in my mind. Slice, slice, cut, cut. Sweet pain dancing on my skin. Why do you dance once again? Drip, drip, blood hitting the floor. They have played their game once more. Drip, 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 rain on the floor. I don't want to live anymore. And home. It says an old piece from one of my bad days. I found it on a sticky note in a box of notebooks. Also, feel free to answer the questions in my head. Oh, cute. And sorry.
Wow, This has a pure, raw feeling to it about someone
There's no
who
questions
is.
needed here.
Yeah, there is. This is about hurt. This is about pain. This is about someone who wants to feel in life, and everything is just shutting down in their lives, and they want to move on, and it really hurts them that they seem to can't. So what they want to do is they want to hurt themselves just so that they know that they can feel again, and that's where the high comes from, and that's where they pull it out of, and it's real hard thing to grasp a hold of for people who haven't felt that kind of pain in their life, but it's a reality and a relatability for a lot of other people. So I think that this is a very powerful piece. Excellent job, Irish. And let me get the first comment from Soul. What do you think?
Oh, such a point. It's like reading something from my own past, and the way she has put it in such a beautiful way, sweet pain dancing on my skin. I mean, describing and glorifying and beautifying pain. I think the poets just do it so well. And it's such a short brevity. It's just a verse, but it does leave a very, very profound effect on the reader. I am glad it's one of her old pieces. And Irish, you are marvelous. I love reading you, and I'm glad that you've overcome this. And the way you have gone about talking about putting in the words, like even the way you have framed it speaks a lot about what's affecting your mind, and dark thoughts chanting in my mind, slice, cut. So even the way you have put the words talk a lot, wherein there's a lot of muddled effect, there's a lot of, disconnect from the real world, and I am glad that you didn't go about doing what this poem talks about. So stay strong, and it's easy said than done, but yes, we have a beautiful family here. To each one over there listening, that shortcuts are not. There is a purpose to life. I feel that if your life is dark and gray, see if you can put a smile on somebody else's face. Somewhere it does help you heal, and I do a lot of chanting, and it does help me. So. I mean, sorry, I went a little off board, but suicide is something that I have had on my mind for the longest, and I do, get it at times now. I think we all go through it, but once you turn to spirituality, you realize that probably there is something that the universe wants to do through you for somebody else. And if you find that purpose happening, through you, you feel so elated. It's a different ball game altogether, this life. I wish peace to everyone, and I shall keep everyone in my prayers.
Awesome. And Bella, what do you think?
It's hard to comment to a poem where you can actually relate. And it was like, it's not, I'm not proud, but I cannot turn back the time and then redo everything and make me as, pure as everyone can be. But no, I'm not that. I'm in the situation where every time I get a hold of something, I will do it so that I can test if ever the next day I will be dead or not. And I didn't care at that time. I didn't, because all I cared was how I was being hurt emotionally, and I focus on my pains, but I fail to focus on what I can give and then what I can deliver to other people who gave me pain. And I can totally understand it because I also wrote a poem when I said trip, 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 down you go. So the chanting will never go away. And then now they ask me lately, how come you're always wearing sleeves? Because they know me that I don't wear sleeves all the time, even before. And I was not ashamed to show them. I rolled up my sleeves and then told them this is the reason why I have to do that. And I scratch both of my arms every time, all the time. Because I am so scared to feel so numb that I will not feel anything for someone so deep, the love that I have, and then just lose respect about myself again and, start all over. And even though other people will not understand what we do, we don't care about other people. But what we care about is what we can give in that way. It's not for us to be accepted, but to release what we have inside us. And I can understand Asian here. And like I said, we don't have shame because we don't care what you guys or what other people will think. I love this space so deep. And don't worry, there is no judging in here, only understanding and love. Love you, Irish.
Very powerful comment. Virge, what do you think?
Damn, boy, it's a hot topic, man. It's a hot topic. It's running hot in me at the moment, and I have no problem. Saying I'm looking at it from I'm trying to look at it from a different perspective to a lot of people. I have one of my friends committed suicide a few years ago just before I left England, and it was a really weird and kind of messed up situation the way it all happened, because his wife ended up walking in and seeing him, hanging from his office, seeing him. But there was problems within the relationship, blah, blah, blah. But the point is that sometimes I think people are very quick to be like, the suicidal mind is a weak mind, it's a mind that doesn't care, it's this, it's that. But the truth is, I think, in my personal perspective on it, is that sometimes, obviously not for a lot of people, not people that they're just in the darkest possible place, they can't see a way out. But sometimes I think for some people it's more a case of, enough is enough. I've seen enough, I've had enough, I've felt enough, I need out. That's it. And I'm in that place. Deal with it. And people maybe need to be a little less, as better, like we said, judgmental. Try to not even understand, because I don't even like that word, but to comprehend that, you know what, people do this thing for a lot of different reasons. And particularly now that COVID has come. It's weird, because I was looking at it today. I actually saw something about the rates of suicide increasing just from people not being able to contact other people, through COVID and all the rest of it. And as I said, it's not an easy subject to talk about, but it's beautifully expressed in this poem, Irish. I think it's very, very, very raw, very real, because you paint a pretty picture of it in sweet paint dancing on my skin, but then anyway, I don't want to live anymore. So, yeah, man, definitely very relatable, and I think as much as people claim to love life and all the rest of it, there are more people who have these thoughts than the world knows, than they would ever let onto the world. So let's just try and treat each other with a bit more compassion and love. And when people are talking about their pain and things of this nature, we need to be prepared to listen and not be judgmental, and also not run away from it because of our own fears of it. So good job, Irish. Very, very impressive and a very powerful piece.
All right. I know there's someone chomping at the bit to comment here. Go ahead, Boo. You read it. What do you think?
I agree with what everybody else said. It's a form of mental illness, and I think like 15% of people
cut themselves, and they feel instant relief. I mean, so don't we all want to feel instant relief if we could? You know, there's the guilt and the shame and all that comes afterwards. But mental illness is still mental illness. Some people cut, some people drink, some people have sex, whatever it is, we all got something. So I used to not get it. I used to think it was selfish until I learned more about it and saw a lot of people that have it, a lot more than I thought actually do it, if you pay attention. And yeah, that's sad. And you know, she brought it up and looked at all the talk it brought, so that's a good thing. And I hope she doesn't do it anymore.
Awesome comment. And I heard Salwa wanted to comment on this as well.
Yes, I agree with you, Boo. I mean, it's easy for us to judge, but I had students who had this issue. I noticed that, like you said, Bella, that she started covering her hands, and I noticed I really am tuned to my students. And this is in college. And for the only thing I was able to do to really had a talk with her, understand where it's coming from. Sometimes when you reach out for someone and listen to them, it might give them hope to even rethink and go get help. It takes a lot of courage to talk about this, Iris, and I really hope I know that you still have pain from your loss of your brother. You can see it in your poetry. All what I hope that you can get help, because there is help. So I hope you get help, because it is heart-wrenching to see and to hear that you have to go through this. Not to judge you, but literally from not to hurt yourself rather than judging you. I hope you get help.
Yeah. And you can see where she says on her board that she hasn't had a urge to do it for about 1 to 2 years.
Oh,
so,
that's good. That.
Yes, there you go.
It's not to kill themselves. They never want to do it to kill themselves. It's more like a stress reliever. Yeah.
All right. I think what we're going to do from here is we're going to play a little audio. Double OBB, boo.
Back in action, baby. Back in action, baby. Back in action,
oh,
baby.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go.
Well, holla.
Apocalyptic time. These rhymes reflect apocalyptic times. Times where minds are dismissing signs that times ahead will see bloodshed and loss of life. Times where crimes refine bloodlines like old designs primed to divide. Apocalyptic times reside inside deep seas with ties now on the rise, just like the minds of wicked types whose pride denies to help the plight of those who strive just to survive and live a good life. The type who like to see us fight like dogs in bogs, fed on war songs and words of hate, a time and place where technological tools are used to school our youth to abuse like violent fools. Violence will rule, like devils who infuse with views that lead to feuds. Which would you choose? Apocalyptic news or a place where love reigned up above, just like sunshine in the summertime? Well, rhymes like these paint different scenes, scenes obscene and far from clean, where people's dreams are filled with screams. Am I scaring you? If so, not cool. Why would you choose to take the view that what I say makes you afraid? Apocalyptic trips may well eclipse the place in which your thinking lives. Outside the box is where mine is, not in laptops or violent stings. I deal with now and what surrounds before I'm clowned and end up drowned, or worse yet, dead, like youthful heads, as current trends would now suggest. In fact, confirm. Does it make you squirm to hear such words? Well, here's a verse to calm your nerves. They're only words that show concern about the world and how it turns. If we observe, we may just learn how to stem this surge of pain and hurt and make a return to life being preserved. Let the devils burn and make peace work like unity, because things like these will help relieve our streets of beasts and poverty, and new stories of killing sprees. Our youth are dying. Don't you see? These words are trying to feed our seeds with something more than MTV. But here's the score. Too many elders, too, are promoting wars without a cause and need to reduce their angry moods. Don't try to front. you know it's true. Why take the view that I'm too blunt? The time has come to listen up and fill eardrums like Kweli does, with words that soothe and help improve the minds who choose apocalyptic moves like dropping bombs that breed phantoms and tsunamis. Do you get the scene? No trees, no leaves, no ice caps left, just war and death. I guess to most of you, this seems far-fetched, but think it through. What's coming next? Flooding here and flooding there, and then heat waves that send shockwaves as fires blaze for days and days. Apocalyptic, yes. So what do you say? Does this poem and its wordplay make you think I need a shrink? Maybe I do. But here's the coup. Apocalyptic things are happening closer to home, and that's no joke. Most folk are broke or snorting coke with nowhere to go to find some hope. Oh, I'm a pessimist? If you insist. I'm simply writing things through poetic scripts that reflect how I feel right now. Some music filled my mind with this. Thoughts of gloom and much darkness. A discreet flavor, darker than Vader. Try to deny, and you may find that what you fight inside your mind is the truth about what's coming. Apocalyptic times.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Virge. I really like this because, yeah, there are signs, but the one thing that I hate about this talk are the people that exploit it, the people that use it for their gain and their thing. And Boo, how much did you say just a simple COVID test cost over in Cali just to get one?
$175.
So you got to pay $100.
Wow.
So they're making $175 off of each COVID test out in Cali.
Wow.
And just think about how many they.
Yeah.
Depends if you have
the
health
is
card.
$125.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The
But just
the
think
other
if
one,
they're
if
making
you're
that
going
much
to use
money
your
off
card,
of it.
is $75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got
Yeah, it still doesn't matter. It's still ridiculous though. They're making a killing off of this, and then
they have
they keep on.
No kidding, Jay. They have drive-throughs.
And then they keep on adding to these shots, and you know, I'm not going to say anything about people who want to take the vaccine or people who don't want to take a vaccine. That's your own choice. That's your own choice. But the people that are benefiting from this, that's the thing I have wrong. They have all these people that benefit from this apocalyptic talk.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Eventually the earth is going to end. Eventually the earth is going to end. But do you have to put that fear into everybody that the earth is going to end? I like this piece. I do. Because it's like it goes all over that subject, and it's saying, why don't we just wake up, people? You know what? It's gonna be an ending, and there ain't nothing we're gonna be able to do about it. I like that. I like that because it's a message everybody needs to see. Razzle, what do you think?
You hear me?
Yeah.
Apocalyptic rat.
Yeah, as to the vaccine, you know, this is going to last forever, maybe a year more, and no one's going to be infected by the COVID virus, whether or not you get the shot. So right now what's going on, that's just racism. Who has the shot, who doesn't have the shot, the right or wrong. We have to try to start living like society again. We have to get off pre-COVID time and back to where we were, that every American is another American.
There you go. There you go. Excellent. Excellent. Wait, Bella wants to say something. Go ahead, Bella.
I said it sounds sexy. You know, the echo made it sound more sexier. I'm sorry, I'm not hitting on you. I'm just noticing it. How beautiful. I have ears. I can listen. I'm allowed to. But yeah, I have no comment about what JCA said. because as I'm guilty as I am, yes, that is the nature of my job. And yes, we did the first drive-through COVID testing. And yes, I allowed it and we allowed it. And some reasons, there's a reason why behind it. But it's not going to be acceptable to everybody, because if I will be putting myself in the shoes of other people, I will be saying the same thing too. But I am just in the middle of it, and where I experience being swabbed. Okay, imagine being swabbed 4 times, and it has to come out from my thing too. And 4 times, imagine I was positive with COVID twice, and the last time I was swabbed 5 times. So think about how much you have to pay for that, because not everything will be shouldered, right? But then again, the problem is, I don't usually talk this way. The problem is the people who are pretending that they are helping these people, because they are not really helping them. Instead, they are digging the grave so that they can push these people in that grave, and then, be... But I'm so sorry. I just think that way. And as much as possible, I really wanted to help on my own, but I like what other people was telling me. You cannot do it on your own. You have to tag someone. And that way, there will not only be you, but you have another one working with you side by side, and you grow and grow so that you can start changing the perception of the not ill-mannered, but these people who are thinking differently, evil's doing. But yeah, thank you very much, Virge. You have a very strong voice, and I don't tap this kind of topic all the time, because I will be torn into pieces, because my family goes to this, and I have to be in the middle, so to protect them and to protect also the people that I am helping with. But thank you very much, and I know where you're coming from. I can understand. I can totally understand. It's just like I just want to be in a safe side in this one, but perfect, right? Loved it.
Wow, thank you. Sorry, I'm just, you all kind of veered away from where I was at, because that's a long poem, but you've gone to the current sort of apocalyptic thing of COVID. But I have to just say, I think it's a really tough one, folks. It's a tough one, because evidently there's clearly something hurting people. We don't know whether it was this thing in the lab, or whether it's bats, or whatever the fuck it was. But we are in a time... I was sort of talking about this with a few people this week. A few people have come back to me and gone that they really enjoyed the piece and dug it. And I'm like, but this is 17 years old. This is an old poem. So it just gives you an indication of how much I pay attention to what I see around us. And I think that's the only way that we can really avoid the continual sort of demise, which is another poem I wrote yesterday on the same sort of subject about the demise of humanity. Because as a nation of people, we just seem to be weakening, man, at every corner. And yes, JC, I think you're right. There is a misuse and a misappropriation of how to deal with things like this kind of health crisis. And the fact that they're even thinking about making money out of something that's supposedly to stop a pandemic from reaching millions of people and billions of people across the world is actually quite farcical. So it's a very deep subject, folks, and all I can say is try to keep sane with regard to all of this, because it really is crazy. It really is. Simple. Apocalyptic visions, man, we are heading there. And nobody's mentioned the floods of recent and the heat waves. I'm like, come on, folks. This stuff is scary. people are really having to go through losses just because of the weather, let alone because of COVID. So, and then we don't even get to violence, like the levels of how people are talking about the rise in violence across states in America, the rise in violence in the United Kingdom, the protests that are occurring left, right, and centre. South Africa, Cuba. Where isn't there people? Where aren't there? Which part of the world has got people not protesting right now? Scary time.
No, you're right about that. You're right about that. Well, we need to keep moving on a little bit. We got 25 minutes and a few poems to get through, so I'm going to continue getting a couple comments, but I want if we can make the comments a little shorter. Boo, what do you think about that? Boo Bear, are you there?
Yeah.
Boo Bear.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, this whole shit was created in a petri dish to fucking take our dominance and make us a weaker country. It's all created. It's all bullshit. It's man-made, and the media scare tactics make it all even worse. And I'll tell you this, that when someone dies of COVID, we're not even allowed to put that down on the death certificate, so the numbers aren't even right. So they're bullshitting you there, too. Don't fall for it. The type of, you see us fight like dogs and bobs, wars and hate, and everybody's so confused, they don't know which way's up, down, what to believe, and, we need to be informed and stay informed. I refuse to get the vaccine. That's a personal thing. I heard they're going to make you do it soon. Fuck that, too. So, this is America. Last time I checked, it's a free country. I think, Virge, you're right about everything you say here. Let's try to put us against each other, try to confuse us, try to fuck us all up. Apocalyptic tics, maybe you need a clip. I think you need something. Maybe they need to read this poem, Virge. Good job.
Thanks, Virge.
A bitch slap of reality.
And Salwa.
Yes, I see that you wrote this poem 3 years ago, but it's still effective as if it's written today, because you talk about stuff that universal that happened maybe in some countries more than others, but it's still happening. I think it's about poverty and abuse and violence in this world that we live in, like devils who infuse with views that lead to fraud. There's so much in there, they're always very loaded, where crimes defined by bloodlines, and on and on. At the end, one of my favorite lines, where is it? Oh, goodness. Home, I can remember. I lost it. I was focused on it earlier than everyone. I'm sorry, I lost it. I'm going to put it on my comment anyway. I really like this line where you're talking about, and then you say pessimist maybe, or call me pessimist right afterwards. So, yes, most folk are broke or snorting coke with nowhere to go to find some hope. So people who are broke, it's like almost a cycle where people do drugs because they are broke, to forget this dilemma. It's this cycle that goes on. And then maybe people will call you pessimist for your writing, go see shrink, but you're talking about reality. I like also what Jca said about some people abuse it, but it's reality. It is a sign of coming. I believe in this myself too. So definitely something that's going to happen. And there are more, and at the end of time, there will be more horrible things happening than good things, unfortunately. Great write.
Thank you, Salwa. And sorry, thanks. I must clarify quickly before Jason moves on. 14 years ago, it was written. 2007 is when I wrote it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome. And Salwa, I'm going to have you read the next poem. I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I'm going to have you read a little Heavenly Angel for us.
Oh, Heavenly Angel, miss her. Okay. Verses of the Heart. Okay. Dreams of purpose fulfillment, one past physical limitations, beyond all boundaries, transcend in its powerful essence, permeating the woven fabric that is the tapestry of our lives, voices raised in perfect harmony, heartstrings oscillate into chords of pure beauty, sometimes fate flutters
to compel our song. Butterfly kissing necks of violence. I saw in it your eye, a vast cathedral of skies, and through your kiss upon my lips, I'm certain I have been baptized, end of poem.
Oh, this is absolutely brilliant. I love the movement of this, but within the flow of this is also music. It's music. It's a musical piece. It's a piece that actually brings out the music within the words, and I think that right there is a beautiful take on the whole thing. So it's an incredible poem. Bella, what did you think about this one? Bella, you on mute?
Oh.
Might have lost her. She might have had to step away. Then we'll go with Raz. What do you think?
Yeah, I have an angel. She really has this gift of bringing it back each time. What there is of romanticism in deeper parts of relationships. At first, it seems like just some over-layered form of lyricism, and then when you look deep down inside, you understand it's every reason why a man loves a woman and a woman loves a man.
Awesome comment. And Salwa, you read it. What do you think?
Oh, I love this one. It really brings from the beginning the sense of love. What does it mean? Even the title, Verses of the Heart. It's her heart that speaks and dreams of perpetual fulfillment once past physical limitation, beyond all boundaries. It's not only about physical. There's more than that. It's powerful sense permeating the women that tapestry our lives, something that really marks the rest of your life. She said it so beautifully. The voices. I love there's so much romance. There is a touch of sensuality, but very classic and beautifully said. I saw in your eyes, and the eyes can never. Someone who the eyes can never lie, and she see in her eyes this vast cathedral of skies. There's this like grandiose dream when she say cathedrals of the skies, and also spiritual as well. I can go on forever. It's really beautiful. I love her.
Wonderful comment. And why don't I go this way? I'll let Soul comment. What do you think about it, G?
Oh, the last time I think I read this poem on the show, and I'm glad you brought this up because I can highlight how, lust and love actually baptizes the lovers. And through your kiss upon my lips, I am certain I have been baptized. So here we go, like, ooh. Beautiful romantic poem. Loved it, from the title to the end. Every line. Yeah. It's being a little wicked over here.
I'm going to let Boo make the last comment, and then we're going to throw Rob's piece on the board. Boo, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with G. And this is like a little bit different for her. I think in a way it's more like a spiritual dream of perpetual fulfillment, one's post-physical limitations beyond all boundaries. So that's what love can do for you, is to lift you up and reach to that place, transient and powerful. I think it's like all-encompassing kind of thing that's good for you. And when you feel like you're, in the honeymoon stage and all that stuff, it's spiritual, it's, heavenly vibes, I guess. And good tip. So, good job, Angel.
All right. Next up, we got a little Rob Cohen going on right now, and here we go.
It's history of purple. Crawling out of the Mediterranean Ocean, sea snails crawled out to the ocean with royalty in their ink sacs. 5-star read Aristotle's Fashion Review, speaking on the snail-secreted Tyrian purple hue. Thousands of mollusks died in that genocide, for a drop of dye inside on entire, where crushed shells still lie. Wool and linen fused, violet and crimson, bright rich stains bump up the price for nobles. Growing steaks and caked over Mediterranean royals, God asked Moses for purple curtains to drape in the Holy of Holies. Homer dressed his Trojan heroes in the violet shade. Soldiers and gladiator kept foes on their toes, so too adorned. Roman executed played dress-up with the King of Jews, hanging Jesus twice in perforator robes on the cross. Chinese red roots. Red Cromwell herbal roots rolled over a loom, churning out prized fabric of purple spokes. Byzantine Empire attire and Ottoman Turks in purple. In the Byzantine Empire, emperor princes were born in a purple chamber, delivered by bishops in white robes and stripes of Tyrian. Charlemagne was crowned in insect-dyed robes, shrouded with a pack of griffins, before losing the throne to Turks, unconcerned by the dead bug dye-stained status symbols. Teenage drug dealer turned purple liberator. Barely legal, Perky Wool tried mixing malaria meds, and ended up with a mellow flower-coloured dye, building a fashion empire loved by the poetic romantic guys, and stroking the strokes of Klimt's brush, with wine-sipping gypsy rock-and-roll roms, who rock purple socks in purple haze skies. We salute you, William Henry Perkin, King of Purple.
This has got so much depth to it and so much history behind it, and that's the main thing that I take from this is the history of the purple, because when you're talking about where the dyes came from, how they were used in royalty, and a lot of the overall history behind it, I think is clever, straight into bringing in Jimi Hendrix and Prince, which was quite an amazing thing. I like the way that he went with this. Virge, what do you think about this?
Yeah, man, it works for me. Yeah, man, it works for me is what I said. Purple is my colour, man. I'm a big fan of Prince and of course Hendrix. I'm wondering, is this about the group as well? Deep Purple, you would know better than I would, Josie. Is there some relevance to Deep Purple here as well? Because I'm presuming knowing Rob's music now as I have to. I listened to his music this week, and I have to say, worth a listen to. He's got a lot of talent, and great music is part of his formative years, clearly. But yeah, this is really classic Rob Cohen. Lots of great language, lots of obtuse language, lots of language you might not necessarily know. You might have to go looking up. But as I said, from the perspective of purple alone, any man that writes a poem about purple is all right with me. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. And Raz, what do you think?
Oh, Raz? You mean me, Raz?
Raz. Mr. Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah.
Everyone
I'm
is
looking
drunk
at
tonight.
one particular line here, and it says, shrouded with a pack of griffins before losing the throne to Turks. That's a significant part of history. What you have in the Persian Empire taking on the ancient Romans until what we find as the modern world, it was like the Turks had their own rule of the Middle East and parts of Eurasia, but they eventually lost, and their symbols are still here to this day. When you look up linguism, ancient Hebrew, ancient languages in Mesopotamia, all of that has been modern translated into Turkish type of linguism, and you can see how what they believed once is an encryption of what we don't understand right now of the ancient world.
Awesome comments. And Boo, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of this speaks to like excess too, and how that they were like fashion and what they did for the purple color and all the snails that died and all that stuff in its history, and he would have been the only person I would know that would even care about it. And does the homework and reads about it and studies it and knows every single thing about it, every single subject that he does. He shows that it's interesting and unique and kind of funky, but that's what makes it interesting, I think. I like it. And I could listen to that for all day.
And I'm going to give one more comment to Salwa, and then I'm going to read the next poem.
History of purple. He did, indeed, he gave us a history of purple, a really interesting one. From the beginning, crawling out of the Mediterranean Ocean, that's the root of he explained where is it coming from. The sea snails crawled up the ocean with the variety of their ink sacs. And he takes us back to different use, where it was used 5 stars from all the beginning, and like the Aristotle time to Chinese to Charlemagne, I think, as well. Yes, Charlemagne. It's just the royals from one place to another, what it means to be used. I really find it very interesting. I always had this question in my mind, I have to admit, never searched it. One of the things that I always was curious about. So thank you for, I don't need to search it anymore because I found the answer for it. So thank you, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm serious, amazing poem.
I did some research the other day on a poem that I was going with the cowrie shell, which I don't know if you're familiar with the China pattern, that blue and white China pattern that comes over. That's really absolutely a gorgeous plate pattern. The blue that they used to use was from the cowrie shell. So what Rob put here was very, very, like I said, intricate to the history of the colors itself, and very fascinating. So what I'm going to do is we're going to read Patrick's next. Bella's going to be right after Patrick, so we'll get her in as well. We have about 7 minutes before we lose the people on the board and out in internet land. So let me get to this, and then I'll give my thanks right after I read. Actually, let me give my thanks right now. I want to thank Headshot, Nick, Agrikel, Salwa, Rack, Virge, Bella G, Raz, all for calling. Patrick, Irish, and Angel out on the board. Really appreciate you guys. Everybody else, we thank you. If we don't get to your piece tonight, we will read it on Our House on Wednesday. Do not fear. We appreciate everything that everybody does, and we love you all. And without further ado, thanks, Boo, for all that she does. Without her, none of this would be possible. And here is Remembrance by P.M. Murphy. There's this exotic place between walls where the sun mists the ground and the upset rains take form in the sky that got there from yesterday's pour. With that same night circulating, looking for myself in a drift of fingers imprinting the same visible glassed up wall. You'll be all right. Is a smear left for myself, right in front of the dancing exotics from yesterday's pour and poem. Well, this has quite a somber feel to it, but a feel that we're also trying to remember something, and trying to bring something so we don't make that mistake. I think it's a very powerful piece and very clever. I think you did a good job with that. Let me get a comment from, let's start with Raz on this. Raz, what do you think about this poem? We got
Raz, I need
there
help.
still. No problem. We'll get Salwa to make a comment.
I'm so sorry. I have to go back on the page. I accidentally closed the page. I'm literally out of. Give me one second.
No problem.
I'm getting back. Here we go.
Oh, what did you think?
Hello.
So
yeah, it's a reverie. You know, it's all about watching the rain and letting the music take you to a faraway place in your past where you form these visuals from some beautiful moments which probably the rainfall brings in. So it's a beautiful reverie over here, and this is what I get from this brevity. There's this exotic place between walls where the sun mists the ground. From the petrichor to the mist. The images, or you can say you go into a trance where the mist forms in beautiful remembrances and memories. So it's about probably trying to cling on, or trying to get back something from the past. So it's like a play of symphony. Listening to the rain, watching the mist, and like how you move your fingers on the window pane. Trying to form a heart, and trying to watch probably lovers go by, in the rain. So it's what you can take from these lines. I think it's all about reveries.
And Salwa, did you get a chance to read it?
Yes, I love your interpretation, G. I see also something like a little bit kind of. I really love it. Made me, but my mind was going somewhere else before. So. You'll be all right. This has got my attention, how it's written in italic. It's like almost he was between walls, and a visible glassed up wall, and printing the same visible glassed up wall, but someone between walls, you get, it's like how do you say, it's a barrier, but in spite of this, I guess the reverie that you're talking about, or escape, that really it's smear left for myself right in front of the dancing exotic from yesterday. Poor, you'll be all right. Remembered something that was maybe painful, but seeing this beautiful reverie, or maybe a real scene, and make him think, oh, this is the past. I'll be all right today. I don't know. That's what I see. So maybe it's and I like what you said too. You leave it for us to interpretation.
Awesome. And Bella, I'm going to let you make the last comment, and then we're going to put your piece on the board.
I'm a fan of Wing's writing because he can, when he goes deep, he can really go deep, And what I like about this, brevity, it inflicted a lot of emotion, and really gets you in there. But for me, rain is always a symbol of gloomy days in one person's life. That's why I wrote in the comment, the gloomy days are always there, and Wings knows. And sometimes those clouds, if you will notice, they go behind the light, and it so that it will linger inside us, kind of put us down. But like what you said, you'll be all right. because no matter how vicious the rain can be or the typhoon can be, the sun will always come up, and that's the beauty of nature, and that's the beauty of your heart too. Thank you, Wings. You'll get by. It's okay.
Awesome. And with that, we're actually off the air with everybody who's out in the board, but we're going to continue on here, and we're going to put Bella's piece up next. And Bella, you got a bunch of people to read to here, so have fun with that.
Yeah. This one is actually a collaboration with a contest of Hooked, and I stumbled upon it earlier, so I love the two stanzas in here. I wrote it in the last part of the Aeon.
Oh, that's
the title of the poem. Yeah, the collab, the two stanzas that she posted in there. And this one is titled Lost. How can one tell a story about the truth, about behind broken time and hollow smiles, an empty tune from a masked laughter like a lost soul blown by the wind? Am I too afraid to admit that I am as lost as the winter breeze adrift in the midst of my own storms, wondering where I've been? Mostly thinking blank, mostly of who am I? Am I a choked whisper in the wind, a soft breeze trickle on my cheek, a droplet of blood bleeding to speak? Do I still know myself, and I'm still seeing beauty in me? My thoughts, they are sacred but callous, like my heart, guarded with cement, but it delves in greed and hides in the shadow of jealousy. I am pride, despite breaking. I am love, and the giver of pain. I pay for my debts, for the ache that I inflict in gentle gnomes from wounding deep. I am beautifully painful, like flesh diving in rivers of salty tears, hair strands soaked in wishes and fears, fingers twisted together to blend of pain's colors painted to mend. I am the cloudy rainbow, the wingless bulb. I tear in silence, then brushes the wound away, so to fly aimlessly in my own torrential face. Can you see my dance and my deep lacerations? Can you tell from your heart that I can be understood? I can't even find me. Antoine.
Wow.
No shit enter in that contest.
Whoa, yeah, this is so freaking powerful. It isn't even funny. I was planning to. I'm still thinking about it. I may. We'll see.
Nah,
but this is absolutely brilliant. I love the direction you took. It was so the reader couldn't help but feel when you read. And there's such contradiction in there, but aren't we people of contradiction? You know, I look at that. I look at I am the cloudy rainbow. Wow, that is just such a brilliant line right there. I am beautifully painful. One of my favorite sayings in the world is, beauty through pain, because that's where we get a lot of our beauty. It's through the pain. It's like a metamorphosis. It's like a woman giving birth. You know, the child is beautiful, but there's going to be great pain that comes through that process. And I think that this whole thing. I think this whole thing is a great telling of that. And it's like you are, regardless of what you think, sister, you are birthing something, and it is beautiful, and it is an incredible, wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Virge, what do you think?
So glad you brought me back for this one, and it'll be my last comment of the night, people. So it'll be my last comment of the night, people. To have a good week, but fantastic. But we're back to the same two-faced duality scenario of humanity and the complexities of humans. And it's a subject that I've thought about a great deal over the last few months. I'm very, very interested in the whole idea of what we as humans actually acknowledge within ourselves, and in terms of what we acknowledge within ourselves, how that impacts how we work as a group, as a community with each other. And it is a very difficult question for people to really address, but this poem addresses it in a very cool way. So I know time's running, but I wanted to just say there were a couple of lines that really, I love the beginning. I'm like, how can one tell a story about the truth? The truth is the truth. There is no story. It is what it is. And interestingly, I think, just to end my comment briefly before going off too much, I thought about this today. Isn't it interesting that we always are told that we are getting given news stories, not news facts or news truth, but news stories. And all I would say in linking it back to the poem is we tell ourselves a lot of stories that aren't necessarily true. And it's time, I think, and I think things like COVID and everything that's going on, these things are beginning to make people realise that we have to address these issues within ourselves. And a poem like this, as I say, epitomises that struggle, that debate, that question, and it is done in an eloquent and a beautiful way. So fantastic job, Bella. Very much enjoyed. Good way to end the show. Or certainly bring it to a close. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I like how he says Bella.
Bella.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear another accent saying Bella. So what do you think?
Oh, my Bella. Sending you a big, big warm hug. You are my sweet, sweet friend, you know. What do I say? Like, you know, you have your voice spoke so much more than your words, you know. I could feel every single syllable, every single word, every single pain, every single, acceptance by you through what you are going. You know, for us to understand what you are going through, it's probably just being able to see the tip of an iceberg, you know. And not only are you, but I think we all are very proud of you with the way you are, you know, handling your pain. It's beyond wow. I just pray and I hope that you stay so like this, because we still have a lot of boobs.com to explore. So so we are not going to let you, you know, we are going to hold on to you, along with you, explore and come out and sail through this. And the two stanzas from your AN, the way you have incorporated in your poem, I mean, nobody can say that it's something you've taken from somewhere, you know. Wonderful poem. I love every piece. Like, you know, if I start reading, I think I'll just read the entire poem. So I'm not going to. All I'm going to say is, you rock. I love you.
I love you. So thank you. Thank you. I encourage you guys to join Hope's contest. She has a lot of nice
No, that's okay.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Salwa,
yeah.
Salwa, you're
Yes.
next.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
goodness, I am behaving. When it comes to Bella, truly Bella, I'm saying this. You know, you have this unique. You never cease to captivate our hearts with tears. I didn't have tears in my eyes right now, and I had to put myself in silence because it's a real story, and it's from the heart. You always write from your heart and with emotion that start from the end with your unique verbiage and deep. You dip it in emotion first, I think, or the other way. I don't know what it is. You just really you do this every time. I have tears. I just don't know why, but I guess because it is so sincere. I'm the cloudy rainbow, the wingless bulb, I tear in silence, then brushes my wind away. So I fly aimlessly in my own torrential. You always tell me that I give you hope. Actually, when I read yours, I really see how much you don't see a string. It takes a lot of strings, Bella, to put this together, and to be open like this, and to take away this, put away this pain. That says a lot about you, and we can tell from our hearts. We understand you definitely. I mean, with no doubt. We might not understand everything, but we understand. Maybe the little that we can understand. Love you. So happy when you're here.
Love you. Yeah. Thank you.
Love
And
you
you know
too.
what? This poem, I wrote it just earlier because I was so jealous. And I'm so greedy. Everybody knows that I'm greedy. When I say I like this person, I become very I become very greedy about it. And when I let go of the person and see the person trying to move on and go on with someone else, I get really, really angry about what I do because I know for a fact that I cannot give the love that other people will give this person, but then again, I wish. Sometimes I can, right? I can only wish. But thank you very much.
Oh, goodness. It's so beautiful, Bella.
And boo. What do you guys say?
Well, it's very obvious whose lines are whose. And that's nothing rude or truthful. It's just that your part is just like in your face, powerful, and saying that you're scarred and you're have scars and you're not healed and you're hurting, but you're still gonna try to move on and go forward. And I like the cloudy rainbow. I'm probably cloudy myself, and we all are really. And it's about being honest and vulnerable too. I think. Yeah, I was gonna enter the contest too, but now I'm like, it's that good. I mean, it's really good and it's powerful and you remember it. And anyway, you're a beautiful damaged rainbow, so I don't mind.
No. Thank you. I love being like this. You know, pain is always something that it's my trademark, being damaged, but I love it, and I'm not ashamed of it. I admit it to everyone. So if you cross my line, and I will tell you before you love me, let me know. I will let you know that I am damaged inside and out, but I can love, but only for a very short period of time. I love you, Boo.
So I left everybody a little.
Do me a favor, Virge. Can you say Bella one time?
I left everybody a little picture on the board, so if you guys want to see it.
I want Virge to say Bella.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Come on, then.
Let me take them off the mute so you can do it.
I'm unmuting myself. You always got me on mute, man. Good night, Bella.
So fun.
He can make me sweat.
All right, folks.
Make sure you sleep well, okay?
Good night, Bella.
Good night, Bella.
And
good night.
Here's a song
I put
us
your
going.
poem on the front page.
Thank you very much. Why don't you guys join? Because it's Hope. It's fun to write the collaboration with Hope. I encourage you guys to join. The matter doesn't matter, but what matters is like we feel it.
Yeah, I like to do that too. I like to see if you can write with the person or not. You can like adapt to whatever they wrote. So yeah, I was looking at that contest today too. Yeah, it was really good. And she's grown a lot too. So
we miss
I
you.
know she's very happy and very much in love.
Is she in love?
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you guys.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. This has been Open Poetry. Good night, good morning, good afternoon around the world. This is JCA signing off.
Good night.
Good night.
Love you guys.
Yeah.